Greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to the best damn movie-related show on the planet Earth, the John Campea Show, coming to you from right here on my YouTube channel. I am, of course, your host, John Campea, and it is an awesome honor and privilege, as it is every day, to have you, our international friends, gather around to talk about our favorite things in the world, movies, movie news, TV, streaming, all sorts of good stuff. Comic-Con has kicked off. Comic-Con stuff is a go. We got a few things to talk about that, of course. Joining me today, sitting right over here to my immediate left, writer, director, producer, pundit, Mr. Robert Meyer Burnett. Robert, how you doing today,
John,
sir?
I would be remiss if I didn't remind the world that today is the 53rd anniversary of man landing on the moon.
Is it really?
It is.
I did not know that.
July 20th, 1969. Ray, this is your day, buddy.
Yeah.
This is your day.
Do we officially know which sound stage they filmed that on?
Wow.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Of course, I'm kidding. Sitting beside him, making her return today, of course, Chris Carr. Chris, how you doing?
I'm doing great. My voice is a little shot from yesterday's voiceover session, but Rob, when I worked for NASA's Space Center Houston, I cannot tell you how many people would be like, so all these moon rocks are props, right? And I'd be like, no, they're not. They're from the moon.
These are rocks from the moon.
The moon.
Celebrating that, of course, he asked for the day off, but we needed him in here today. Joining you guys in the live chat,
I did.
Ray Ora, to celebrate Moon Day.
I came in like it was my day off.
And, of course, running the show today, producer Jonathan Voico. Jonathan, how you doing?
Hey, good morning, everybody.
All right, guys, here's how today's show is going to go. We're going to break it down into two parts. In the first half of the show, we're going to talk about some predetermined topics. Then in the second half of the show, we're going to take your live comments and questions. If you'd like to get a live comment or question on, two things. Number one, you got to be watching live. Number two, when we get to the end of our main topics, we'll announce that we're opening up the super chats. Make sure you guys have your comments, questions, thoughts, theories, critiques ready to go, because we only leave them open for a few moments. Now, of course, yesterday, YouTube had some issues and our stream got froze. Just as we were starting to do super chats and getting into that part, some of you got those super chats in. We saved them, so we will address those ones that you sent in yesterday as well today. Also, guys, a little bit of housekeeping. Just want to remind you, if you need an audio-only version of the John Campea Show, we do have the John Campea Show podcast. It is available now on your favorite podcasting app of choice. Just go on over, search for it, and subscribe to it today. Also, we have a secondary mailbag podcast feed, so make sure you go and sign up for that one as well. All right, guys. With that down, let's get going here with an off the top, and it is right off the top because this is just a few minutes old. We're going to be talking about Comic-Con a little bit later, but I can tell you about one of the things they're not going to be doing at Comic-Con, dropping a new trailer for Game of Thrones House of Dragons, because they just did it this morning. A brand new trailer for Game of Thrones. Now, I keep mixing it up. Is it the House of Dragons?
Yes.
Okay, the House of Dragons. I sometimes get that mixed up with House of the Dragon. So, okay, House of Dragons. They dropped a new trailer just a little bit ago, just a few moments ago. And I'll tell you what, it's fucking awesome. It's great. I've been now listen, you know I've been excited for the show. The casting is great. I love that world. I've been excited for the show. But Rob, you know, I've been a little, I've had a little bit of trepidation, if you will, about it. Like, let's see what they're going to do. And granted, a trailer is only a trailer. But wow, this trailer smokes. It had all, I mean, I felt.
I see what you did there.
I did. I didn't even mean to. The puns just come out of me. I mean, I didn't realize, it was halfway through the trailer that I realized I feel like I'm watching an episode of Game of Thrones. And I mean that in the very, very best of way. The aesthetic was right. Even the color grading was bang on accurate.
Bang on, baby.
The acting was wonderful. And they did the thing that I love most about good trailers. They gave us a basic idea of the story. Something that a show I'm looking forward to 2 times as much, the Lord of the Rings series, and I still think that's probably going to be the best show of the year, but they have not done that in their trailers yet. They have not yet, and I bet they're going to do it at Comic-Con this weekend, but we'll talk about that in a bit. But they have not yet given us that trailer that gives us the basic idea about what's the story here. But I have a feeling that Game of Thrones and the Lord of the Rings ones are going to do that within days of each other, because now we got the Game of Thrones one. I loved it. First of all, stupid Siri. So that,
be nice to her. The robots are going to get you.
I should be very, very careful. All of a sudden, my car alarm starts going off. But I mean, that shot near the end, I felt like I was watching a Dungeons and Dragons movie, though, when the red dragon's face comes into frame. I'm like, bring it to daddy. Like, I want to see this so bad now. I'm not gonna lie, I loved it. I thought it was great. Rob, you just watched it with me for the first time. What do you think?
Loved it. You know, I think that the idea of a Targaryen civil war is inherently dramatic. You know, there are different factions in the same family, and already I can see, you know, whose house are you, which side are you on? You know, civil war. Oh, there's already got to be like
which
I'm
one's
sure,
Iron Man? Which one's Captain
so there's
America?
going to be those civil war memes based just on this trailer. You know,
Matt Smith is Iron Man.
whatever it's going to be.
Captain America.
You know, because Game of Thrones is kind of based on the War of the Roses, and so I'm curious. I mean, what's the historical counterpoint to where this is referencing? And I love all that, and I think this looked great. Like you said, I loved the design work. We're back in that world. It looks like that world. It didn't look like we've got upgraded special effects. No, it looks like the world, and the cast looks great.
They look
Oh my
awesome.
gosh.
Everybody looks great, and I can't wait.
Chris, you just watched it with us too. What did you think about it?
Well, you know, going into this, I was pretty lukewarm about the show as a whole, and now I am in. Oh my gosh, is Matt Smith going to have a good show again? I'm so happy for him. I love that for him. Jonathan mentioned this before the show started. I thought this was going to be a very different show. I didn't realize this was the sibling rivalry of the House of Targaryen, and I'm so much more intrigued by that because what this show did so well was, yes, there's dragons, yes, there's lots of nudity, yes, there's lots of gore, but it's a political show.
Yeah.
And that's always where this show really, really sang, was the political intrigue and the underhandedness of all of these different characters, making you understand everyone's rationalization, but also pitting you against them as well.
It's Dungeons and Dragons meets Succession.
Exactly. And man, when that dragon gets close, it's like when you're at Jurassic World at Universal and you got the dinosaur coming down at you. Like, I'm all here for this. I think it looks fantastic, and I'm very excited.
And you know what? The timing is great for this because it's September, right? That it comes out. With the September release with Matt Smith, that's going to coincide when they start the Oscar campaign for his Best Supporting Actor nod in Morbius. So it's good. The timing is just serendipitous.
I do have a question for you, though, about
Yes.
this, though, because it makes me think
Terrible,
of
Muriel.
back in the day when Heroes was in its heyday, right? This was the
God,
first
I miss
Comic-Con. I
Heroes.
miss Heroes so much. The first Comic-Con I went to was when season 2 of Heroes was about to come out, and they showed us the entire first episode of season 2 because they'd already showed us the pilot.
I see where you're going with this.
So are we going to see footage of this show now that we've seen a trailer? Because they've got their time, they've got Hall H.
Well, I mean, see, that's the thing, right? It's like, okay, wait, they put out the trailer now, but they're Comic-Con panels in just a couple of... I think they're going to show a full first episode.
I would love that.
I don't think they're going to do it at their panel, but I'm guessing now, because how do you one-up? You just put out the trailer. So I'm thinking maybe they're going to announce tomorrow night at whatever theater is down there in Gaslamp, we're going to be doing we're going to show the first episode of. I mean, I don't know what they do now with that, but it's great. As a matter of fact, this is how good it was. Ray Ora, who has never watched Game of Thrones,
Never.
was watching it, and he was bubbling up. What do you think about that trailer, man?
I'm on season 1, episode 5. I've been on that episode for a really long time. So this one got me excited. I like the story. I like the daughter, the choice between the daughter and the brother. What a hard choice that is, right?
That was great. I love that they put that in the
They're
trailer.
playing into the women should never rule, or that's not in your cards thing. Like with this, there's going to be a lot of drama to the show, but as long as there's dragons in it, I'm there.
I mean,
that
ninjas and
dragon
dragons.
really dope.
Right? Anything just throwing ninjas, it makes it better. Anything throwing dragons, it's better. Hey, guys, we loved it. Question is for you. What did you think about the new trailer for The House of Dragons? We thought it looked great. Maybe it didn't work for you. Maybe it's not your cup of tea, and that's all fine, too. Whatever your thoughts are, jump down to the comment section below and leave those thoughts there. Okay, guys. With that down now, let's move into our main topics here today, shall we? And how do we select our main topics on the John Campea Show? That's easy. You guys come up with them. We rely on you to give us the main topics. See, whenever you come across a big topic, issue, or story that you guys feel we really need to cover as a main topic on the show, just go anytime 24/7 over to www.thejohncampeashow.com/contact. Once you guys get there, you're going to see a form. Fill it out with your topic or question. It's absolutely free. Hit submit, and then maybe, just maybe, you might see your submission featured as a main topic here on the John Campea Show. With that down, Chris, what is our first main topic today?
Our first topic comes from Darren Beely. Hey, John, let he who is without sin cast the first stone. Or let he who hasn't a Netflix password shared cast the first stone. Okay, Bible lesson over. Did you see that Netflix is introducing ad home so you can share your account with another household for a small fee? Do you think this will help them stop illegal password sharing and add new subscribers? Or do you think this will just turn people off?
All right, thanks a lot for sending that in, Darren. And yes, you guys will remember that it was a couple of months ago, I think, that we mentioned to you that Netflix was going to start experimenting in a couple of, I believe, South American countries. They were going to start experimenting with a couple of countries. The idea of, okay, you're illegally sharing a lot of passwords. Here's what we can do. We will offer you an option to legitimately share your account for a couple of extra bucks, right? We didn't have exact price and we didn't know what it was going to do. Well, now it looks like they are rolling out with that, and they are calling the feature Add a Home, where you can add another household for, it looks like, what was it? $2.99. For $2.99, if I had Netflix, I can let Ray finally stop using mine. I can let Ray add his house.
That's
for
$2.99 though,
for
man.
He's already doing $5 for all mankind.
Apple TV Plus. I mean,
let's not be unreasonable, but for $2.99, you can add another house. And this does a couple things, because on the one hand, you might look at this and think, well, how are they going to be profitable with $2.99? Well, right now, that house isn't paying for Netflix at all. So you're getting $2.99. Secondly, what did we talk about yesterday on the John Campea Show in the Campea Classroom? The way a stock price works with a streaming network is that shareholders need to see that your subscribers are going up. You know what this is going to do? This is going to let them pad their numbers. Because even if only 1 out of every 8 homes starts using Add a Home, you're talking about adding hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of new subscribers. That's going to be great for your share price. Mm-hmm. Now, it should be mentioned that while they're testing this now in 5 countries, they're going to be rolling this out. They have not legitimately confirmed that it will be in the US, that they will bring this option to the US. I think they absolutely will. But here's an interesting thing. I was talking to our business guy today, and he brought up an interesting thought. He goes, what if these add-a-home things only allow the added home to have the ad-supported tier? Well, that's interesting too, because now not only are you getting $2.99 a month, which you were never getting from them before, now you're also going to get ad revenue from those households. It would seem to make sense. So instead of paying $10 a month for an ad-supported Netflix account, you're paying $3.99 for an ad-supported Netflix account. Again, this is just speculation on my part, but it's interesting. Chris, we've talked about this before, but they are now rolling it out. Add a Home is coming.
Yep.
Good idea, bad idea, advantages, drawbacks. How do you see it?
I mean, it's a great idea for Netflix, I think, because right now, sorry, Hayden, Alex, and Nate, y'all are going to get kicked off because that is $107.64 that Netflix is not having per year. Now, that doesn't seem like much, but if every household is like mine and they have 3, 4, 5 people sharing their account, that's money they don't have. And if you multiply that by everyone who is a user who has this, that's a lot of money Netflix is missing out on. I love this idea, though, of having it so, oh yeah, if you just opt in for, this little family plan of sorts, right? Then you don't have to pay for advertisements. Because if I could do that, I'd let all those mofos stay on my account. But if I can't have to have ads and pay for them, they're all going to go away so quickly. I love this idea. I think it works well. And you know what? Honestly, I get it. They're a business. They got to make money. This is why we pay for subscriptions and stuff. And I know it's not great, but Netflix is really, really just kind of circling the drain. They got to pick up some cash.
I remember when we first talked about this thing a while ago, because they've been saying they're going to start cracking down on illegal. I mean, some people writing to me and say, this is outrageous. This is just greedy on Netflix's part. If they don't let me borrow my uncle's whatever's thing anymore, I'm just not going to watch Netflix. I'm like... And they're going to cry about that?
Yeah.
Oh, no, boo-hoo. You're not going to steal our stuff anymore and not pay us anything? Now you're just not going to pay us anything without stealing our stuff? I mean, of course it is. There is a user agreement that you agree to when you use this thing. And illegally sharing your password so other people can use the service for free is not one of them. So I get it. But Rob, you look at all the details now we're starting to get coming out of this. What's the good? What's the bad?
Look, I think it's like Chris said, like you were saying, I think this is a good thing. I think one of the biggest problems in the entertainment industry today is that now people believe that you don't have to pay for anything. If you're getting it over through a computer, files, movies, music, shouldn't it all be free? They're all files after all. And it has really hurt independent filmmakers. How do you finance something if nobody wants to pay for it in the back end? How do you give your investors money back? I mean, Netflix, as we pointed out, John, is a great service.
Sorry, I just saw Ray's crap.
Oh, no,
Jess is next. Jess is
really giving.
Jess is X's mom.
Who's Jess?
That's great. I
That's
love
the way
that.
it is, right? That's the way
But
it is.
yeah,
on some
but
people.
that's
That is.
this is the problem, and I think that we have to make everybody realize that you are paying for a service, and Netflix is a very good service, as we've said. I mean, their international catalog is second to none. They've done some great original series like Stranger Things. They've picked up other series like The Crown. I mean, Squid Game. If it wasn't for Netflix, there's a lot of entertainment that wouldn't even get made. That's great entertainment. So I'm happy to support them in any way they need to be supported, and I think everybody else should be too.
Yeah, I think the only potential drawback is, and I think they're wrong for doing this, but I think some people will be rubbed the wrong way. Say, wait a minute, I can't just borrow my friend's password for free. I think it will turn some of those people off, but Netflix isn't getting anything from them right now anyway.
But
so.
that mentality has to be changed anyway. I think that thinking is not great thinking. That leads people to the high seas, and that leads people to not want to pay for things that other people have to pay for to make in the first place. And that's been hugely damaging, especially in the low budget horror world, because horror is one of the first things that's torrented. And how do you make low budget horror if you can't pay back your investors?
Exactly.
Now, we should point out, we have a little bit of a personal thing in this because, I mean, yesterday marked the 4th anniversary of the passing of our friend John Schnepp. And we were up close and personal, got to see pirates nearly destroy his life.
Right.
Because he had poured all of his money and all of his every bit of leverage he had into this passion project, this incredible documentary he made called The Death of Superman Lives What Happened. And we saw not only his heartbreak over his own fans and people involved in his own fan community stealing his movie, but realizing it was financially destroying him.
Yeah.
And so we have a little bit of skin in this game. Like we feel a little bit about that because we saw it nearly destroy a friend of ours. So, yeah, I mean, you're right. It's a mentality that needs to start changing. But again, I think this is a very good move for Netflix, not just because it's going to start generating some revenue where there was none. It starts addressing a serious problem that they had with password sharing. And it's going to artificially pad their subscriber numbers, which I think ultimately is going to be good for their stock as well. So anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this new plan they have for Add a Home? I think it sounds really interesting. Whatever your thoughts are, jump down to the comment section below and leave those thoughts there. Okay, guys, with that down, Netflix Day continues as we move on to main topic number 2. Chris, what is our second main topic today?
This one comes from Martin. Hi, John. Well, the Netflix earnings call happened and it didn't turn out as bad as it could have. Like you said, if their losses came in lower than expected, the stock price could go up. And it did. They only lost about 1 million subscribers instead of the 2 million they warned about, and the stock went up a few percent points. Last I checked, stock was at $219. Not the $700 it was before, but at least it looks like the bleeding stopped. What do you guys make of this?
All right, thanks a lot for writing that in. Now, of course, we talked about this on the show yesterday. That earnings call for Netflix was coming, and all the outlets, Variety, Deadline, they're all saying this could be an apocalypse because Netflix had projected that they were going to lose another 2 million subscribers. And we were going to find out what that number was, because if that number was 2 million or higher, it could have been absolutely disastrous. You could have seen a fire sale going on with their stocks. But what we said on the show yesterday was, if they lose subscribers but lose less than what they were saying, that could look good. That could buoy them up a little bit. And we said there are 3 reasons to be optimistic as well. They've got the ad supported tier coming. They got the password being able to share and add homes, things like that coming. There were some good positive signs coming. Well, as it turns out, that's what happened. They still lost nearly 1 million subscribers, which is not good, but they lost less, half as much, as what they were projecting they may lose. This comes to us from the folks over at CNN who wrote the following. Netflix reported Tuesday that it lost 970,000 subscribers in the second quarter of 2022, a number far lower than its own forecast, which had projected that the streaming giant would lose 2 million subscribers. The company also said it would add another 1 million subscribers in the third quarter, a number that was slightly lower than Wall Street expectations. But investors were clearly happy with the results. The Netflix shares jumped as much as 8% on Tuesday in after-hours trading, after disclosing in April that it lost 200,000 subscribers, leading to a steep drop in its share price. All eyes were on Netflix Tuesday, with Wall Street, Hollywood, and the media world all hyper-focused on the subscription numbers. The company's shares had dropped dramatically during a nightmare year. And again, that can't be overemphasized. The fact that this stuff was hovering around $700 their stock, and now it's less than a third of what it was. They literally lost billions and billions and billions of dollars. But now they're saying, okay, we lost 1 million here, but we project that third quarter, we're going to get that 1 million back. We're going to have a net gain of 1 million viewers. And I'm sure that has a lot to do with offering a lower priced ad supported tier and the fact that they're doing this ad at home thing. Is Netflix out of the woods? No. The systemic problems that led them to this point are still their systemic problems. However, they are coming up with some solutions and some ideas and some workarounds. And we saw yesterday that it had a generally positive effect. So are they out of the woods? No. But should Netflix executives consider yesterday a good day? Yes, they should. They should absolutely consider yesterday a good day. It's going to be interesting to see what quarter three holds. Rob, they are, other than Disney, maybe the biggest name in entertainment right now. And the amount of money that flows through the company, positive to negative, is insane. They lost 1 million subscribers, but stock went up. I mean, so what's your forecast for something like Netflix right now?
Look, if Netflix was delivering a substandard product, I would say, and some people might say, well, have you seen their movies? but I would say that overall, what Netflix is providing has not changed, really. They've spent, I think, too much money on their bigger movies. But for the most part, Netflix, they keep adding more things that I want to watch. It's not like they suddenly stop delivering what I want to see or bargain basement. I'm not watching cable access programming on Netflix. I'm seeing very expensive, very well done stuff. So their product hasn't changed. What has changed, and people aren't really talking about this, is inflation. We're in the middle of massive inflation. There's a lot of households that had to cut back on wherever they could. I mean, Netflix isn't that much money, but I'm sure some of those subscribers...
When you add up all the streaming services, though, it gets expensive.
It gets expensive, and I'm sure that's part of it. So to me, I think that Netflix, I don't know if their stock price is ever going to go up to $700 a share, but I think they're here to stay. And I don't know if they're going to spend $200 million on movies. They might only spend $100 billion on a movie. So maybe we in Hollywood here won't get as rich lining our pockets. But I would say that Netflix is doing all right. And I would bet on them in the future to continue to get better.
Here's an interesting, you brought up their original movies, because again, Netflix's original television is very, very good.
Yeah.
And I love, but their movies, somebody put out this report the other day of the 29 most recent original films, not TV shows, of the most recent 29 original films that Netflix has put out. Only 8 of them have received mildly positive reviews over Metacritic. And the majority of those 8 are foreign films and documentaries. I mean, it tells, and that includes like the brand new one, The Gray Man and things like that. It just kind of shows you the state of their original movies is not great right now.
Well, I think because they've also bet on talent. You know, they don't necessarily have a development apparatus like, say, a major studio does. So there's a lot of people that are making films that I would say are not quite, the recipe's not quite there. They're not baked enough. You know, they need some better chefs in their kitchens.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
That's
Chris, you're a great chef. There's my segue. You see all this stuff coming out. They lost 1 million, but in a weird way, you can say they only lost 1 million.
Right.
With the new things they got lined up, what's your takeaway from everything we saw yesterday?
Well, I like what Rob said about putting their chips on talent here, because right now Netflix is the place to go to for that kind of late 90s, early aughties fare, rom-coms, kind of like summer blockbusters with a Michael Bay flair to them, that kind of thing. And maybe the ship has sailed on those kind of films, right? I love a rom-com, and that's why I watch a lot of Netflix.
Always
now,
Be My Maybe.
I love Always Be My
Although
Me
their
too.
teen rom-coms do pretty well.
They do. They are wildly successful, and they launch careers for these kids. So I do think there's great content happening here. We just need to be choosier, and it looks like they are doing that moving forward and not just doing this whole spaghetti at the wall kind of approach, doing things with a little more nuance. I did check the stocks currently. They're sitting at 212 now. So there's one of two options here, really, right? Either the subscriber base tiers, like, and adding on these different things for your household and everything actually do usher in new subscribers and they stay the course, or this absolutely marks the end of their heyday.
All right, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? The earnings call came in. It was not nearly as bad as it could have been. And they actually have proposed that, hey, moving forward, we're going to start adding subscribers again. What did you think about it? Jump down to the comment section below and leave your thoughts there. Okay, guys. With that down, and before we get into the next main topic, we want to take a quick second here and thank a sponsor of today's show, the great folks who I've used many times over the years, our friends at Storyblocks. We want to take a moment and thank the sponsor of today's video, Storyblocks. Guys, I have been an enthusiastic fan and user of Storyblocks for years. I go to them whenever I'm in need of content creation assets like royalty-free music, video clips, or templates for my creative projects, ranging anywhere from little editorial videos to my very own full-feature documentary. Storyblocks helps you bring your stories, videos, and projects to life without sacrifices due to time, budget, or access to resources. They have over 1 million different story assets ranging from stock videos, audio and music, an in-browser video editor, and they feature pre-designed templates, animations, and outros. Storyblocks uses an affordable subscription model, and their unlimited access plans offers, well, unlimited video and audio downloads rather than a costly pay-per-clip model. With Storyblocks, you'll be able to create more content and, more importantly, better content, all while using a subscription plan that fits your budget, utilizing unlimited downloads of demand-driven and diverse content. So if you're interested in upping your content creation game, head over to www.storyblocks.com/Campea and get started today. That's www.storyblocks.com/Campea. And thank you to our friends at Storyblocks for sponsoring this episode of the John Campea Show. Hey guys, you can find the links and promo codes for our sponsors today down in the description of this video, right at the top there. Remember, when you support our sponsors, you're actually supporting us on the show. So thank you again to Storyblocks. Okay, guys. Now, let's move on to main topic number 3. Chris, what is our third main topic today?
Man, it's all Netflix all the time today.
All Netflix today.
Woo! Box Office fan wrote in saying, so we got a little more on the ad version of Netflix, and sounds like not everything on the app will be in the ad version. So how will this affect the ad version start sales? What movies and shows do you think they'll remove for the ad version?
All right, thanks for sending that in, Box Office fan. Now, when a streaming service, let's say like Hulu, they have an ad-free version tier. I pay for the ad-free version tier of Hulu. I love Hulu. I still think it might be my favorite streaming service that I use right now. But here's the thing. Even on their ad-free, there are a couple of shows that when I go to hit play on, it says, due to streaming rights, this episode will play with an ad before and after the presentation. And then they'll start the show with a commercial, have no commercials during the show, and then at the end, add on another commercial. It doesn't really bother me. My viewing experience of the show never gets interrupted. That's kind of the main key thing here. Now, I tell you that because I want you to take that little bit of information, file it away, and keep it there for a second as we talk about this story now. Now, of course, as we've already mentioned on the show today, Netflix is introducing a ad-supported tier that will be cheaper for you to pay for per month, but there will be ads. Hopefully not a lot, because you are still paying for the service, but they're going to be introducing ads, and that's going to become a new revenue stream for them. However, it looks like if you get that tier, you're not going to have access to everything on Netflix. It's also going to be tiered content. But is it going to be serious? Maybe not. This comes to us from the folks at MSN Business, who write the following. Today, the vast majority of what people watch on Netflix, we can include in the ad-supported tier, Netflix co-CEO Ted Sandros said. There are some things that don't, that we're in conversation about with the studios on. But if we launch the product today, the members in the ad tier would have a great experience. We will clear some additional content, but certainly not all of it. But we don't think it's a material holdback to the business. And that comes to us from the CEO over at Netflix. Okay, now before everybody starts running around yelling the sky is falling, number one, this will not mean any Netflix original won't be on their content, right? Like any Stranger Things, the Gray Man, The Crown, all Netflix original stuff will also be on the ad-supported tier. Remember I told you about how Hulu had to play a couple commercials? This is where that comes in. This is not a Netflix issue. This is a licensing issue because there are some non-Netflix shows that are cataloged on Netflix where their streaming rights are specific to the type of streaming Netflix does and does not cover ad-supported. Not many of them, but there are going to be a few shows that will say that's not in our license. Or we don't have an agreement yet. Let's say Rob makes the show called, Pickle My Foot. I don't know why. I don't know what that show's about. But Rob has a show called Pickle My Foot.
Directed by Quentin Tarantino.
Written by Quentin Tarantino.
Fresh off of Fantastic Four.
So, Rob, and I have a streaming service called John Campea Plus Max. All right. So, and Pickle My Foot, he played it on TBS years ago, and now it lives on John Campea Plus Max. And now I decide to launch an ad-supported tier of it. Well, Rob's now going to come to me and say, well, wait a minute. How much of a cut of those ads am I going to get?
Yeah.
Because we never discussed that. We never negotiated that. The license you have right now for my masterpiece, Pickle My Foot, does not cover you playing ads and how much of those ads I get. Therefore, you cannot put Pickle My Foot on your ad-supported tier. That's what this is. This isn't Netflix, and I don't want to pretend like I'm a Netflix apologist, but this isn't Netflix saying, we're going to keep some of our content back from those lowly ad tier supported. No. What this is that they're going to have to work out a lot of agreements and details, and they're not going to be able to have everything on there, but that's going to be the content owner's responsibility, not really Netflix. Anyway, Rob, you're seeing this situation. What do you make of it?
Well, first of all, Pickle My Foot's a great show, so I'm happy to see it's coming back.
Daniel Day-Lewis
Getting
is
a
great in
second
it.
life.
Amazing.
Oh my
amazing.
gosh.
But no, I think you just said it exactly right. I mean, there are deals in place. It ain't show friends, it's show business, and there are business deals in place and things we have to take into consideration that they're beyond. They have to be addressed. Just like licensing agreements are tough. Licensing agreements are finite. I mean, let's not forget, 2019, Netflix paid $100 million to run Friends, an old TV show, for a year.
For 1 year.
$100 million. Boys got to get paid. They got paid that year. I mean,
Got
so
'em.
the girls, the friends got paid. I mean, and that's why you make content. Content ain't free. So,
Chris, what's your takeaway from this?
I'm in agreement with you guys, but I am glad we're explaining it because so many people are going to have this reaction of, well, that's not fair and I want to watch my shows. Why don't you want my money? It's going to be ridiculous. So I hope
By the
there's
way, this sounds
something.
like Butters.
Oh, yeah, he's doing lots of Hello Kitty Island Adventure. And he hopes all that's on there. It'll be real nice. I hope there is some kind of release or disclaimer or something that does explain how the tiers work and why that isn't there. I'm sure people are still going to stay mad, and you can stay mad. That's fine. But that's how the business of this works. So if you want access to everything, you're going to have to pay the money for it. And this is something that I budget for. Obviously, it's a nice little tax write-off since we do this as our jobs. But, if I want to see all of these shows, I'm going to pay for it.
Yeah. And again, Stranger Things season 5 will be on
Yeah.
there. It's just going to be like William Shatner's Unexplained Mysteries may not, right?
And
Forget it.
Take my money.
and he'll make sure he gets paid.
Yeah.
I guarantee you.
And Shat will make sure he gets paid. Anyway, guys, question is for you. Oh, Ray had something.
No. I just wanted to point out. Do you guys like the timer on the ads? Like,
Yes.
if it's really long, I hate it. Like it's like.
But
3
I like
minutes.
to know
Yeah.
it's going to be long.
I can plan out
Okay.
my time.
And
Me too.
the shows that disable fast forward, does that have to do with ads? Because that's probably my only thing that I don't like.
Well,
where
here's
you
what
can't fast
Hulu
forward.
does. Hulu has a pretty interesting way of stopping you from trying to skip by their ads. Like when I paid for Hulu ads, if you try to fast forward, so you can see on the timeline, which is pretty cool, On the timeline, it shows where there's going to be an ad spot, right? And if you try to fast forward the show past that timeline, that's fine. But once you hit play, it's going to go back and play those ads you try to skip, and then it'll go to the place that you're at. I personally like the countdown clock, because like Chris was saying, it's like, okay, if it's going to be 2 minutes and 30 seconds, I know I can run to the bathroom.
Exactly.
If it's a 15-second spot, just get settled. And
It's just like
So I kinda
Jonathan
like
telling
that.
us how long we have on our ad breaks. Okay, I can go get another drink. I can go do this.
Yes, exactly.
I just hope that one of the things I can't stand about these ad tiers or whatever is getting the same commercial 4 times. in an hour.
I know, but it's been getting better. I haven't noticed that as much lately.
I mean, it gets to the point where it the funny thing is, it's a dichotomy, John. I hate these ads, yet I recite them. I can do the whole script.
Yeah.
What does
that's
that
the point
mean?
of them. It's there's patterns to them so that they're part of your brain, and so you have brand recognition, and then they become part of the zeitgeist.
They should know that you bought the product, and then they'll stop playing the ad.
Yeah.
Well, that's what our sponsors do.
Yeah,
No, they know.
I mean, I remember once there was an eHarmony ad that literally played 4 times in a row. And I remember by the end of the 3rd time, I was like, I don't know this man and this woman, but I hope their relationship fails. I hope
hate
they have
them.
I hope it leads them both to a terrible dark place where they don't have another relationship for 10 years. I went to a dark place, guys. I went to a dark place.
See, what happens then is I turn to Elizabeth and I'm like, I'm joining.
I just see it and go, wow, we've gone in a very different direction where we use models instead of Chris Carr.
Yeah.
Interesting.
All right, guys. Question is for you. What do you make of this? Do you understand the idea why when there's the pay tiers, there's going to be probably some stuff that isn't on there, but that really won't be Netflix's fault. Whatever you guys feel about that, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys. With that down, let's move on to main topic number 4. Chris, what is our 4th main topic today?
Our 4th topic is all about this lady. All right, from Josh Nitkin. Hey, John and team. Longtime fan from Mississauga here.
Mississauga,
excuse me.
Yes, it's in
Where is
between
that?
Hamilton and Toronto. It's actually where the Toronto International Airport is actually in Mississauga.
Oh, okay. Universal just dropped the new trailer for Halloween Ends. I wasn't a huge fan of Halloween Kills, but thoroughly enjoyed Halloween 2018. I thought this trailer was pretty solid and seems like it could give us a good or even great finale. Have you seen it? What are your thoughts? Thanks for all you do. Bring on the filthy.
Josh, first of all, I love Mississauga. I could not agree with you more about, I have never liked any Halloween film, including the original.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, I
Not
don't,
Halloween 3?
especially Halloween 3. I have never liked any Halloween film until the 2018 Halloween movie came out. And I was shocked. I'm like, it had thrills. It was fun. There were great kills in it. They actually made sense of a mythology to it a little bit. I really enjoyed that movie a lot. And so I was very excited for Halloween Kills. And that movie sucks. I mean, that's just me. I mean, I did not like it. And if you liked it, awesome. I celebrate that you enjoyed it. I wanted to enjoy it a lot, but that Halloween Kills just fell absolutely flat for me. I didn't enjoy it at all. So we're rounding the corner now, heading into the last hurrah, the final one. Halloween Ends, and the trailer came out. Meh. I'll be honest with you. I didn't like it. I didn't. Now, I did not hate the trailer, and just because I don't like a trailer doesn't mean I'm not going to love the movie. I'm just saying the trailer for me was a lot of meh. I mean, I feel like an AI could have put that trailer together. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, so listen, the job of a trailer is to take your excitement level and bump it up a couple of notches. I am interested in this film, but the trailer did not increase my excitement for it, just being honest. Chris, you watched the trailer. You love your horror films.
Oh my gosh.
Are
my
you
favorite.
excited about seeing this movie?
So I've never seen a Halloween film.
I'm not surprised.
I'm just waiting for Rob to just react. Okay. Was this different from what we saw at CinemaCon?
Did they show us anything?
They showed us some footage.
Oh, yeah. No, this would have been it. Yeah,
okay.
yeah. It was for Halloween.
Because, I was just, this feels familiar. He's going to do this. I will say the moment where he is going to put her fingers in the garbage disposal, that is a personal nightmare of mine. Anytime I turn a disposal on, I'm like, and these go behind me? No one's getting my fingies today. I've never seen the movie, so I have nothing to add here. I'm excited for everyone who's worked on it. Good job, Cody. But I'm probably not going to go.
Rob?
John, Halloween was the very first pre-recorded video cassette I ever owned.
Really?
42 years ago, I got it from my bar mitzvah. I got the first pre-recorded video cassette.
I never
Thank you.
would have thought that as a bar mitzvah gift.
I got
but
that.
hey,
I got my
mazel
Dogtown.
tov.
I got a Dogtown skateboard with Tracker X tracks and Kryptonic 65 millimeter wheels.
You were a dope ass 13-year-old.
And Halloween on video cassette. I've seen the original Halloween probably 100 times. I look at these trailers, this whole idea. So Jamie Lee Curtis's character, it's in real time. So she's 42 years older.
Right.
Actually, she's probably 44 because the first one takes place in 1978. It's now 2022. I would assume it's taking place in 2022, which means the killer in this movie, Michael Myers, has been in an asylum for 40 plus years. Like they got to take like Midol to stop their pain, whatever. I mean, I look at this and I'm like,
That's for periods.
okay, whatever it is, she's got to take the Midol. I don't. She doesn't have. She's gone through menopause.
She's got to eat her yogurt. That gets
whatever it is.
The probiotic.
You know,
yogurt.
so I don't have any prescription drugs. I'm aging well, but
It's all the ecstasy.
I watch this and I'm like, I don't. My verisimilitude kicks in. I just don't even buy that Michael Myers would be a threat, unless he's truly a supernatural being, which they've kind of insinuated at the end of the first movie. She says to Sam Loomis, Dr. Loomis, he was the boogeyman. As a matter of fact, he was. Okay. But I'm looking at this going, I just can't buy into these movies. Not anymore.
Mm-hmm.
He's an old man.
Well, so is Sylvester Stallone, and he'll still beat the shit out of
But
you.
that's the thing. I believe even now, Sylvester Stallone in his 70s, he works out, he looks buff, he can kill you. Michael Myers,
He's pure evil, man.
He could kill you.
I mean, as someone who's not a fan of the franchise as a whole, I mean, that 2018 movie, I just thought was great. Pleasant surprise to me and stuff like that. And I will admit, the garbage disposal scene, that there was some good tension. Of course, the garbage disposal scene, one of the great tense thing in horror movies and one of the great setups in pornography. Oh no, my hand is caught. Not that I've ever seen that, but yes.
the trailer I thought was fine. It does its job. But here's what I'm thinking to myself, okay, why doesn't Jamie Lee Curtis either move to Europe or move to Asia? There's an ocean.
Because she's
the hell?
no longer trying to get away from him. She wants to hunt him. That's the thing. That's the new angle of her ever since the 2018 film, is that she's about hunting.
Oh, no,
him
I
now.
get
Yeah.
that, but she could have flown a drone into the asylum and blown it up.
Not to go off topic, but what was the movie with Stephen Lang where he's like a blind and he's trying to hunt?
Don't breathe.
Don't breathe.
Don't breathe.
Now, that was
Love
that
that
movie.
movie.
That character scares me more than Michael Myers now, to be honest.
I mean, well, he is a pretty scary character.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, question is for you. Did you have a chance to see the Halloween Ends trailer? If so, what did you think? Did you love it? Did you not think it was all that good? Are you somewhere in the middle? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Okay, guys. With that down, let's move on to main topic number 5. Chris, what is our 5th main topic today?
This comes from Marcus Wiggins. Good morning, everyone. Well, it's here. Comic-Con is finally back, and there seems to be a huge lineup from Lord of the Rings to Marvel. I want to ask you guys to look into your crystal ball and tell us what you think some of the biggest and best reveals and announcements might be made at the event this year. I promise I won't hold you to anything you say. I just really want to hear your guesses. Thanks.
All right, thanks a lot for that. And yeah, you know, it is funny. When we made the decision not to go and I canceled our panel at Comic-Con this year, there really wasn't anything going on at Comic-Con. Within about 10 days of that, though, everything got announced. We're going to Comic-Con. So Ray laments every day, why aren't we going? It's like, yeah, they announced some stuff even the day after. So what are going to be some things? Okay, look, we don't know for certain, but you're right. It's now here. Comic-Con is launched. People are down in San Diego as we speak. I might actually run down there for an evening. It's only an hour and a half away. And we got some big stuff coming. So there's a few things I want to cover that I'm going to give you some ideas about what I think they are going to announce and what might happen. And then I'm going to go a little bit on a ledge with a couple of things about, like, let me get into the speculation here a bit. Okay, so let's jump into the Campea classroom here for a second. Okay, let's start with this. Let's start with the good people at the Lord of the Rings. So we're talking about the Rings of Power, right? I think for them, the big thing is going to be trailer. I think what Game of Thrones gave us today, I think they give us on Thursday? Friday. I think they're going to give us on Friday. Friday is the Lord of the Rings panel. I think they're going to give us, I mean, first of all, I believe it's like an hour-long panel. They're going to give us the basic outline of here's what this story is. Here's what's going on. This is the setup to it. And then they're going to show a trailer that does that. I think they're going to give us an actual synopsis of the thing. Obviously, I think we're going to hear from a lot of the cast. It's going to be a lot of, it's always been my dream to be in a Lord of the Rings film ever since reading the books as a child and watching Peter Jackson's masterpieces and blah, blah, blah. We're going to get a lot of that. And that's great. But I think we're going to get a solid synopsis, and I think we're going to get our first real legitimate trailer. Besides the, hey, everybody, Lord of the Rings is back, which is really what the other trailers have been, and that's fine. But I think they're going to give us our first legit trailer, like the Game of Thrones trailer we got today. So there's that. Okay, let's go House of the Dragons. Well, we just got the trailer. And so as we already talked about a little bit earlier, I honestly think, and Chris, you made me change my mind. I think it's going to be an episode.
I did it.
I think they're going to be giving us an episode there. And I obviously, I don't think they're going to drop the first episode online for people, but I think we're going to hear a lot of reports. Again, let me be very clear. This is not inside information. I think if they're dropping that trailer today, though, they're not going to leave themselves to be standing there with their dick in their hands at Comic-Con with nothing to show. If they're dropping the trailer now, it's because they've got something to give to the audience at Comic-Con.
It's Game of Thrones. If a dick is in hand, there is exposition.
Then there is story going on.
Or someone's losing that.
Or someone is losing that dick.
Very
So
true.
I stand corrected. It could be all of the above. So there we go with that. So I think that's going to be House of Dragon. All right, let's go to DC now. You know, I've been telling people for a month now that I kind of believe that at the DC panel, Henry Cavill will come out on stage and they will announce that he is back as Superman.
Don't you say that every year?
But this year, well, I thought that they haven't had Comic-Con in like 3 years. Cut me some slack. I believe the context in which it will happen is I believe Dwayne The Rock Johnson will bring him out. Now, of course, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, his manager, is also, who is his ex-wife, is also Henry Cavill's manager. And Dwayne has shared a number of images over the last 6-7 years of Black Adam fighting Superman. He's put a lot of those images out on social media over the years. I believe that Henry Cavill will come out, and of course it will be jizz-tastic. It will be absolutely jizz-tastic. Henry Cavill's going to come out on there. The internet will explode. You're going to see Hall H have a pop. Like, well, I mean, they haven't had a Hall H in years, so that you haven't seen in years. It will be the biggest pop that Hall H will see. And when that comes out,
Henry.
What's
Hall
that?
Henry.
Hall Henry. When all for now and forever, Hall H is renamed Hall Henry. Will come out on that stage, and I think there will be an eruption like no other. And I just want to point out that I've been saying this for a long time. Well, Deadline has now just said that they are hearing rumblings that Henry Cavill's going to show up there. Now, for all I know, those rumblings is my pie hole. Like, for all I know, like when they say we're hearing rumblings, yeah, they watched the John Campea Show. They've heard me talk about it. So maybe that's it. Or maybe they have other sources that are telling them that as well. I'm just saying, I think the big thing is Henry Cavill. Other than that, I mean, they're going to be hiding Flash. They're not going to be like, shh, we don't talk about Bruno. It doesn't exist. We don't talk about Ezra. They're going to be hiding that. I'm not expecting a lot of big announcements. I think they're going to highlight a number of things. I think we're going to see I think we're going to see a lot of Black Adam footage. I think we're going to see some Batgirl stuff. I think we're going to get some Blue Beetle stuff. I think it's going to be mostly reveals, right? That for them, because they have the ultimate nuclear explosion pop at their fingertips. Hall Henry Cavill comes out, boom, everybody explodes in this big. So that's how I think the big things come from there. Okay, let's go on to the bigger thing. When I say bigger, I just mean bigger in terms of how much they have to present. Let's talk about the MCU. Okay, we'll get to what I think is going to be the big thing in a minute. But there are a couple of things that I think we all know that we're going to get some glimpses of. First of all is Black Panther trailer. I think we're getting the Black Panther 2 trailer. If not trailer, at the very minimum, our first bit of footage, right? So I think Black Panther, first bit of footage, is definitely one of the things that we could be getting there. Also, I think we are going to get some Cap 4 information. I think they're actually going to have a story synopsis to tell us. I think they're going to, now, obviously nothing to show us, but I think we're going to have, them come out and say, Cap 4 is going to find Sam at this place, and then this happens, and now he's got to face this. I think so. We're going to get a little bit something about that. Now, Fantastic Four. We were discussing this the other day. Are they actually going to reveal the Fantastic Four and the director of Fantastic Four here? Or are they going to save it for what they consider to be the more important event, which is D23? Again, I say what they consider to be the more important event, D23. It could be a mix. So, you know what? I'm going to go with that mix and say 2 cast announcements. I don't think they're going to bring out the entire cast, but I'm going to guess 1 or 2 cast announcements for Fantastic Four. Then they'll save a bunch of other stuff for D23. Some talk about Daredevil. I think they're going to talk a little bit about Daredevil. I think that's definitely going to be on the thing. Also, I think they're going to officially announce Eternals 2. I think Kevin Feige, regardless that box office wise, the box office, it was disappointing. Their box office didn't do terribly, but it was disappointing. And I like that movie more than most people. I don't think it's top shelf MCU, but I know Kevin Feige is deeply invested in Eternals. He's got big plans for Eternals. They set it up. I think they're going to talk a little bit about Eternals too. I also think we're going to get more information on Thunderbolts. Now, so we already got an official announcement. So I think we're going to get I think they're going to mention the team lineup, that sort of thing. So that's going to be good. Whatever. All right. And I don't think they're going to do anything X-Men related. I don't think they're going to do anything, even though they did just set it up with the ending of Ms. Marvel that you can make some mutant announcements, whatever. I actually don't think they will. So I don't think they're going to do anything like that. There are a few other things they could do, but that's going to lead into what I think is going to be their big thing. The big thing. This is the one where I'm going out on a limb a little bit. All right. That is going to be this. Russo Bros come on stage to announce Avengers 5 Secret Wars. I think that's the big thing. I think that's their nuclear pop.
Ooh.
You don't think they would save that for D23?
I think they should save that for D23, but I think they're going to have like 8 or 9 or 10 big things that they can drop at D23. Showing some footage of Black Panther, maybe 1 or 2 cast announcements for Fantastic Four. I think that'll be big. But I remember, like, we often talk about the Tom Hiddleston coming out on stage as Loki, right? And that was huge to me. But one of the other big ones is when they did the Age of Ultron and they announced Age of Ultron and they brought out Joss Whedon and they brought out the cast, and like I still remember, like that was
the last announcement of the day.
Yeah, it was the last announcement of the day. It blew it up. It like everybody freaked out. It was crazy. I'm going to go out on a limb on this one. And my guess is, and there's a couple of big things wrapped into one. It's Russo brothers. It's Avengers 5. It's Secret Wars. And so that is I'm not going to put money on that. I'm just saying if I'm going to do one big pick that's a little bit out there on the plank, I'm going to say that's my one that's a little bit out there on the plank. So those are a bunch of my picks and predictions for what we're going to be seeing coming out here at Comic-Con. Rob, got a lot of big stuff coming. We got the Game of Thrones, the Lord of the Rings, we got DC, we got Marvel. What do you think? What's your big, put on your hat there, your future seeing hat, get out your crystal ball. Tell me, what are we going to get there?
They're going to announce a new Star Trek TV show.
You think, well, that's Paramount.
They've got a Hall H panel.
Yeah, Paramount does. That's right.
And they're going to. I can't speak about Star Trek Picard season 3 because I could tell you things which I'm not going to do. They're going to talk about that. They're going to talk about Picard season 3, which is it's deep in post production. But they're going to announce a new Star Trek show. They're going to talk about Werewolf by Night, which is the Marvel.
Oh, I should have brought that one
Yeah,
out. I think you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
They're going to talk. They might show a scene from Marvels. I think. I think we're going to hear something about the new Doctor Who, the Russell T Davies Doctor Who coming back to Doctor Who. I mean, because that's not part of these big franchise things, but you're just saying in general what I think we're going to get. We might get some footage or something, so a look at the new Doctors. I think that's definitely going to come down the pike. I think we're going to hear about, if they don't announce Secret Wars or they don't announce Avengers 5, I think they're going to announce Young Avengers.
Yes.
I think that's and that's something they could save for D23 because they've been building up to that over all of their shows, and I think that Young Avengers is definitely something that's coming down the pike from them. I think that you're correct about Black Adam. I'm convinced. I think that because one of the things we haven't seen is we've seen Black Adam. We've heard there's nothing in those trailers that show he is in conflict with any other superpowered being.
Right.
That they've saved that. They're absolutely going to have Superman fight Black Adam. I'm convinced of this. I think you're right. And that's when they bring it out, they'll even show some clip. Somebody punches somebody. I think it's absolutely going to happen. Let's see if the things I think they're going to announce, they're going to announce something to do with Star Wars. I think we're going to get.
Oh, I don't think so at all. I think they've got an entire day set aside for Star Wars at D23. I think they're going to save everything Star Wars related for that.
I think.
By the way, I don't think they have a Star Wars panel set. I don't think there is any Star Wars panel.
There's nothing.
No, and it's not a Disney panel. It's a Marvel panel they have set for Saturday.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay, I didn't realize it had nothing to do with Star Wars.
Yeah, from what I could tell, no, there's not even a Disney panel. I don't think, unless I'm wrong about that, Jonathan.
No,
but
there was nothing Star Wars.
Nope, there's just a Marvel
then
panel. Yeah.
Never mind. What else do I think that's about? I mean, those are the things that off the top of my head that I could think of that I think are coming. But I'd love to know more about this Werewolf by Night series. I mean.
Yeah.
Or it's a special. And I also think Guardians of the Galaxy. We're probably going to get footage, and they're probably going to bring out the cast.
I didn't even think about Guardians of the Galaxy.
Is it too early for a Blade teaser?
They
haven't
That
They
movie was
started
announced
shooting.
30 years ago.
Yeah, they haven't started shooting yet.
No, they have.
Have they?
No,
Yeah.
they haven't.
No, they have not.
Blade.
They haven't?
No.
I don't
This has
believe
been
so.
fun.
Okay, well.
And also,
It'll be
I think-
difficult to play trailer.
Well,
I think we're going to get something
That'd
about
be
Secret
amazing.
Invasion as well. Because Secret Invasion has started shooting.
I think now Secret Invasion may have wrapped. Because I remember we talked about some set photos like 4 months ago,
Oh,
3
right.
or 4 months
Yeah,
ago.
you're right.
So, I mean, I don't recall hearing that they've wrapped, but I would maybe
They might
guess they've
have.
wrapped.
But I think they're definitely going to show something from Secret Invasion.
Okay, so just a couple things. Number one, I don't think they're going to do Young Avengers. But number two, I mean, maybe something they can dump on Netflix. But what do you think about? I want to know what you think about my out there guess about announcing Avengers 5 Secret Wars and Russo brothers come on stage.
I think that that's a possibility, but I think the setup for Avengers 5 is not finished yet. And I think that I don't think they would announce something like that, although they might, and certainly they've been hinting at it. I would say that though, the announcement would be that the Russo brothers are going to do X-Men, not Avengers.
No.
Not Avengers 5.
Really?
Why?
Yeah. Well, because if you think about
I love see,
Yeah.
that. I've got my
Because-
out there guess. I love that as an out there
because
guess.
because the Russo brothers have been talking about how much they love the X-Men. And if I were the Russo brothers, they did talk about Secret Wars. Here's my thing. I think they're going in that direction. But honestly, who cares? I mean, really, when it comes down to it, I'll flat out say it. Secret Wars was a gimmick.
I'm not a big fan of Secret Wars, actually.
And
yeah.
even the second Secret Wars with Battle World and all that, the problem with the Marvel Cinematic Universe is they don't have enough opposition.
Yep.
There's not enough bad guys to make a Secret Wars work. They'd have to add, like, you could add all these other things in there and you could trump up a reason to, like, have them fight. But I don't think that a Secret Wars storyline has the weight or gravitas because all it is the characters fighting amongst themselves. And is that really interesting? What's interesting is the X-Men.
Well-
And I think that the Russo brothers could get on the ground floor of establishing the mythology of the MCU for the next 14 years.
Yeah.
Because Avengers has kind of come to its conclusion in terms they've got their Thanos storyline. I think what they need is the next, what's going to rocket the MCU, what's going to sustain it. The X-Men will, and the X-Men universe, and then you bring the Avengers back and you do X-Men versus
Oh, I
Avengers.
don't think at all they're going to. Avengers is their biggest moneymaker.
I
And-
know, but where do you go?
I mean, there's a. Come on, Rob. You in 20 minutes could come up with 15
Right, but
possible
I
things
just
to
I
make
just
you
don't
go.
think they're going to do Avengers now.
Okay,
Good
right?
question, John. If they do announce Secret Wars, do you think they announce Chris Evans is back?
Oh no, that's something they would get saved for a lot later.
Okay.
I mean, and it depends. Like what are they going to do with Cap 4 and stuff like that? So we'll have to see there. By the way, there's one big one I forgot. I cannot believe I forgot this
Marvels.
one. Let's bring back up. Well, no, the Marvels. Honestly, the reason I didn't mention the Marvels is because I think they are going to save the Marvels for
D23.
for D23. I
This
do.
is just specifically to
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if we can bring back up the classroom again, I cannot believe I forgot to put this one down there. My good Canadian kid.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
Deadpool 3.
yeah.
I mean, Ryan Reynolds comes out and announces Deadpool 3. Now, understand that neither Mint Mobile nor the owner of Aviation Gin has given me any inside information about this whatsoever. This is just me purely speculating, purely guessing. But I cannot imagine, like, because we already know the scripts are already full blown in thing. They've already got their arrangement worked out with Marvel. Everything's moving forward. All that we don't have is the official announcement. And I think Ryan Reynolds, he pulls, hopefully it ends better, but he pulls an Owen Hart. He descends from the rafters in a zip line in the Deadpool outfit, pulls off the mask, announces Deadpool 3.
You have that Celine Dion song playing.
Oh my God! Yes, you have.
comes down
that's
on
it.
a pole.
You gotta have Celine on a floating platform that's also descending, and she starts singing
Beauty from Ashes.
"Beauty from Ashes" as Deadpool zip lines in.
He comes
Come on.
down.
How funny would it be? I love this idea if they just bring her out.
Yeah.
Like she just walks out and starts singing and gives the people John. But I also say I forgot to mention I still believe in my bet that we've made about Fantastic Four.
Well, let's go back to that because I just mentioned one or two, but you're going to stick with director, full cast, full blown, everything on that. You think that's good? They're going to go
Yes.
the full 9 yards.
Full
That's
9
wild.
yards.
Full Monty.
Full. They're going to do the full Mountie.
Mounting the
They're going full
Fantastic Four.
Fantastic Four, the
Yeah.
full four
All right.
with feet and everything.
Woo.
All right. Anything else anybody wants to add here?
I mean, y'all, Quantumania? We're not going to see any of Quantumania?
Again, I think that's one of the things they're going to save for because you got Kang and everything in there.
Okay.
That's one that I
That's
think. I mean,
fair.
they very well could. I mean, that's a legitimate pick. I'm
think
just saying the
that-
reason I
yeah.
didn't have it on my list just because I think it's going to be D23.
I think that might happen there. And I really do think, I'm so glad you brought up Ryan Reynolds, because I do think they are going to have, you want a Loki-esque moment, have Ryan Reynolds show up, he comes down in his pole dancing to Celine Dion, takes off that mask and says, Daddy's home.
Oh my God.
Oh, damn.
How late you'll lose their minds.
But you're right. That's
Gin
a
shots
perfect
for
analogy.
everyone.
It's yeah, aviation gin shots for the whole crowd. Look under your chairs, everybody. But that could be their
Expensive
new
presentation.
Loki moment. Because nobody's been able to replicate Tom Hiddleston on stage as Loki saying, "My name is Loki of Asgard, and I'm here. I'm burdened with glorious purpose."
Shushing the crowd is when
Yeah.
everyone was like, what?
Yeah, that could be that moment. I don't know, Ray. You got any guesses? What do you think?
Well,
they're gonna
I
do?
already brought up the ones I wanted to see, but you shot them down right away. The Blade teaser, and
That
like
doesn't mean Mahershala Ali can't come out on stage and talk about Blade.
that's it. I mean, I am interested in some DC properties, but I just can't think of one yet right now.
I also do think we are getting a Marvel animation panel specifically about What If, Marvel Zombies, and X-Men 97, and I think there'll be some footage of that as well.
Oh yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely gonna
Oh,
do that.
my off of left field is they announced Edgerton as Wolverine.
That's a good out there guess.
I really like, after you guys brought it up, I really like him as playing this Wolverine. I mean, looking at his face, there's no
Oh yeah, dude.
Perfect.
After watching Blackbird, I'm convinced Taron Egerton's going to be Wolverine. You know what? I'll even go any further.
Are you gonna add this to the bet?
Yes. Not only are they going to announce X-Men,
You're
Russo
never
brothers
getting a
doing
hot
X-Men.
toy.
They're going to announce Taron Egerton as being Wolverine, and they're going to make a Wolverine movie first.
You know what? I've always said I think they're going to introduce X-Men in an X-Men movie. I think that's the one exception. I think that's the one solo mutant movie you could lead the franchise off with first.
Yep.
Because I don't think it can be Storm. I don't think it can be Cyclops. I don't think it could be Angel. Wolverine could be your first solo one that leads into it. And it ends in a post-credits scene with a dude in a wheelchair rolling out saying, "I've been looking for you, Logan." And
Right, or something like that.
opens up
Or
the
that's how
universe.
the movie ends. You know,
Saying
like
my
it's not
neck
even
hurts
post-credit
for some
scene.
reason.
Put me down.
All right, guys, question is for you. What do you think? Like, you got some far out there predictions? You got some real solid predictions about what you think we are going to see coming out of Comic-Con? We're going to have a lot of stuff to talk about next week for sure. Because by the way, the Marvel panel, Saturday at 5 p.m.
Prime time.
So it's like the last of the big panels for movie stuff, right? For the MCU.
I mean, that is the prime time spot.
But it's a big day because DC is earlier in the same day. So there's going to be a lot of stuff. We're going to have a lot to cover on Monday. But anyway, guys, what do you think is going to come out of Comic-Con? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Okay, guys, with that down, we're now going to move on and start taking your live questions. So we're going to open up the super chats right now. If you got a thought, opinion, theory, question, whatever, send it on in and we'll address those in the second half of the show. But before we get to those, we want to take a second and thank another sponsor of today's videos. I love these guys, the folks over at BetterHelp. Hey guys, we want to take a second and thank the sponsor of this video, BetterHelp. You know, in the age of social media, you might think that everybody's life except yours is perfect because everybody always posts the best memories, the most glamorous shots. But you and I both know that's not how life is. We get pitched some serious curveballs, and sometimes it seems like a lot of them. And you know, we always encourage each other to get out there and to get into better physical health, going to the gym and eating right. But it's about time we started paying more attention to our mental health as well. And that's where our friends at BetterHelp come in. Because see, BetterHelp is not a crisis line. It's not self-help. It is professional therapy done securely online, available to people worldwide. You can log onto your account anytime and send private messages to your therapist, or you can schedule weekly or phone-only sessions if you're one of those people that's not really comfortable being on camera. And getting therapy every week is as easy as just a few clicks on your laptop or phone. It is time to invest in your own mental health, and BetterHelp is a great way to invest in yourself. And right now, they have a special offer for all of the John Campea Show listeners to get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/Campea. That's 10% off your first month of online therapy at betterhelp.com/Campea. And thank you to our friends at BetterHelp for sponsoring this episode of the John Campea Show. All right, guys, let's start getting to your questions. Ray, do we got any from our members here?
We actually got one from yesterday before we went out. Jason Frost writes, chances of us hearing about a World War Hulk project at SDCC?
Nope, not
this
until, I mean, maybe some animated thing, but they've already done that, but not until Universal and Marvel get their licensed stuff worked out.
And he also mentioned hearing about it coming to Disney Plus. It'll probably be like a series, right?
They
If
would
did.
never do a World War Hulk on Disney Plus.
Animated though?
But again, there's already an animated World War Hulk out there.
right.
So,
You're
I
right,
mean,
you're
I mean, maybe if they want to redo it. All right. What's next?
Okay, Adrenaline Knight says, hello everyone. Do you think we will get the status of Spider-Man at Comic-Con between Marvel and Sony?
No, I don't think we're going to hear anything about Spider-Man if they do, big pop, but I don't think we're going to hear anything about Spider-Man yet.
Alex129 writes, John, I love your show.
Oh, thank you, man. Appreciate that. And thanks for being a channel member, man.
He does? Okay. Dalton Gray writes, got my tickets for Nope tomorrow. Looking forward to seeing y'all's thoughts and opinions. Thank you all, guys and ladies, for what you do for us. In Ray we trust. Bring on the film.
And hey, me and Ray are going to go see Nope tomorrow at 4:00.
Okay.
Very excited to see that. And then I'll do my out of theater reaction as well. I'll have Ray there with me.
Okay. Michael Gonzalez writes, Shazam 2 trailer at Comic-Con? I can
definitely, for all their upcoming projects, and that's one of my most anticipated DC ones. They're definitely going to show us footage.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Okay, Planted Goldies writes, not to be controversial, but do you watch the Joe Rogan podcast? Love you guys.
Not really. The only time I watch segments of Joe Rogan's podcast, but normally only when he's got UFC fighters on it.
Same here. If
that's when I watch his podcast.
I'll watch it.
Yeah.
Amin writes, Nope is sitting at 90% with 62 reviews. Can't wait. Seeing the film tomorrow in special IMAX presentation. that includes a live pre-film discussion with Jordan Peele. When are you guys seeing it? I'm so jealous.
Oh,
Again,
man.
tomorrow 4 p.m. is when we're seeing it. I was invited to see it earlier this week, but it would have meant driving to Century City, and I just didn't want to do that. But I'm very excited for it, and I can't wait to share my thoughts on it. All right, is that it?
Yep. That's
All right, let's get on over and get to the super chats now. What do we got?
From SSJK.Sanctum, some support. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Elmist. I saw The Gray Man a couple days ago, and it was one of 2 screenings in Orlando, and I had the theater to myself. But let me say, the movie was very fun with good action, but it was just very generic.
Yeah, again, the last I saw, I can't remember what the critic rating of it was. Again, it's very, very, it is literally, people say mixed way too easy. Like when a movie has a 70%, that's not mixed. But it was at like 48 or 47% when I saw it, which again, definition of mixed. So we'll see. I'm still looking forward to watching it.
I think it's going to be fun. I mean, I'll watch anything to do with spycraft or espionage or action, international thriller, Bond-esque action.
Yeah, I think it's got potential. I love the cast. All right, what's next?
From Josh Becker, Get Out is one of my favorite films, but I found Us just to be okay.
I'm completely in agreement with you. Like, especially after how good Get Out was, I just found that it just was, it introduced all these great threads and wasn't able to tie it together at the end, left me feeling a little bit wanting. Here's hoping that Nope rebounds from that. All right, what's next?
From Luis Enrique de la Peña, CBR reported that Daniel Kaluuya said in an interview with The Hollywood Reporter that fans may be disappointed with Black Panther 2 due to the absence of Chadwick Boseman. Do you concur?
Okay, let me be very clear about this. That is not true. That is not what Daniel Kaluuya said. I had several people writing to me. If you go back and read the interview, he is very, very clear. What he said was, I can't say anything because just go read it. His basic message is, if I tell people stuff about the script, they'll be disappointed. He did not say people are going to be disappointed in this movie. He said his message was, if I say things, people are going to be disappointed. If I say things, because they don't want to be spoiled. That was his message. So just got to be clear about that. All right, what's next?
From Blue Jay, so happy to be watching you guys on my birthday today. Happy
birthday, man.
Thanks for everything you guys do.
Oh, well, that was it. I thought there was something more. Happy birthday, man.
Happy
You have a
birthday.
great day and a great year ahead of you. All right, what's next?
From Al Renshaw, Kaluuya made the right decision choosing Nope.
Oh, yeah, because, again, I just don't know that his character is even needed in the sequel. Like Wakabi, I honestly thought Wakabi, and this is not Daniel's fault at all, in a movie filled with great characters, I thought Wakabi was the weakest, and there was just no point to bring him back. All right, what's next?
From John Jordan, hi all. So I may be fanboying a little here, but just imagine at Comic-Con the cast of Fantastic Four come out, then directed by the Russo brothers. My pants are now wet. This would make my year.
We've been talking a lot, Rob, about who could direct it, and obviously, just tastic as Steven Spielberg walks out on stage and says,
Yeah.
that's just it, game over. But there've been a lot of other options. I mean, obviously, John Krasinski directing. We've been talking about, is it Avengers 5 for Russo brothers? Is it X-Men for Russo brothers? Maybe it's Fantastic Four. Could that happen?
I mean, I definitely could see that happening. I just think that the Russo brothers have sort of honed dealing with the ensemble casts at Marvel. I mean, I think that anybody would say, look,
Well, that's what Fantastic Four is.
yeah, but I mean, it's also a family as opposed to, I mean, the Russo brothers have proven that they can use this gigantic canvas and make it all work. I mean, sure, I don't see them saying no to that, but I would think they would hold off. I'd see X-Men or Secret Wars being more of a option.
All right, what's next?
From Jay, top 5 Tom Hanks movies and Bachelor Party better make everyone's top 5.
Yeah, no,
Just
we don't
kidding.
do top fives in live on the spot questions. That takes time to sit down there. Obviously, you're talking about some of his best, though. I mean, obviously, Forrest Gump is probably going to be the one he gets most celebrated for when his career's over. But,
Philadelphia, he was great
He's
in that.
amazing in Philadelphia.
and then, of course, my wife's all-time number one favorite movie is Big.
Big.
Yeah.
And Castaway.
Oh, Castaway's so good. I mean, the dude. I mean, he's just the man.
Apollo
Tom Hanks is
13.
the man. All right, what's next?
From Attack of the Mooshie, saw The Gray Man in theaters, pure action epic. Gosling wants Ghost Rider, and I'm reminded of The Place Beyond the Pines. Have you seen it?
No, still haven't seen it yet, but I am more interested in the fact that Ryan Gosling did an interview yesterday where he said, they asked him about entering Marvel. He goes, I'm waiting for them to offer me Captain Canada. And he said, once they do that, I'll be there.
Aw.
So it's like, you heard him, Kevin. Make Gosling's dream come true. Let him be Captain Canada. All right, what's next?
From the Mounties, I hope Nope does well so we get the trilogy. Nope, yup, and sure.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, fashion.
I like
That
that one.
was good. I like that. All right. That's the comment of the day so far. All right. What's next?
From Harry, hi crew. Orville has always been hit and miss for me, but the last 3 to 4 weeks have been friggin' god tier classic Trek, true to Gene Roddenberry's vision in every way. I'm floored by how good it's been.
You know, it's funny you mentioned that. Rob and I were just talking about this before the show started because I agree. Orville is hit and miss. And this season has, for me, been hit and miss. It started off great, like with a suicide episode and stuff like that. They've clearly changed the show. It's no longer a comedy. They'll drop 1 or 2 jokes per episode.
Sure.
That's about it. So it's kind of lost its core identity. Now it is just blatantly a Star Trek ripoff show. I mean, now they're not even pretending they're not. They are a direct
Homage.
Star Trek. No. Ripoff.
No.
It's a direct rip. But I was telling Rob, like, the last 2 weeks in particular, like last week was 2 Lifetimes, or what was it called? What was the name of the episode? 2 Lifetimes, or A Lifetime Again, whatever. And then I think this last one was called Hidden Graveyards or something like that. The one about the time travel, and then the one about the Kalon. They forget Trek, forget Orville. They were really good TV. Like it's finding, this show has really found its new identity. And again, I don't think every episode has knocked it out of the park, but the one on Krill was great. The season premiere was great. These last 2 were great. There were a couple in there that I thought were weaker, but the show's doing well, Rob. It's really finding its stride.
I've quite enjoyed it. And you know what's interesting? This last particular episode had an A, B, and a C story, and it's hard to juggle all those. Even Next Generation had a hard time with A and B and C stories because you had the diplomatic story, and then you had the Isaac story, and then you had what was going on with certain crew members, and it was really interesting how they played.
By the way,
all
that
those
certain
out.
crew member storyline is pretty funny.
It was pretty funny.
All right, well, we won't give it away. All right, what's next?
From Harry, some support. Thank you. From
Thank
Kevin
you,
Cow,
Harry.
support.
And
Thank
from
you.
Kevin, our friend
Yay,
Kevin. Thank you, guys.
Official friend zone. Any chance for Sony Spider-Man news? Morbius director did say we would find out who is their Spider-Man soon.
No, I don't think they're at that place yet. Like, I got a feeling there's going to be a little bit of build-up to when an announcement is made, and really it's all been cricket. So I don't think they're going to risk having a Spider-Man announcement get drowned out by Hall Henry, by Russo brothers doing this, by Fantastic Four announcements. When they're ready to announce Spider-Man, it's going to be all on its own, I think. But who knows? We'll have to wait and see. All right, what's next?
From A. Marcellus, Schnepp is now more powerful than we can possibly imagine. His Force Spirit watches over you and is proud of you guys for carrying on the sweaty.
Yeah, of course, yesterday marked the 4th anniversary of the passing of the best of us, John Schnepp. And, we were talking a little bit about him. Ray even slipped in a little Easter egg of him on the main thumbnail today, which is good. And, I put up a post about it yesterday, and I mean it. I mean, the fandom today really needs John Schnepp. And he's not here, but yeah, we miss him all the time. All right, thanks for putting that in, man. We appreciate that. What's next?
From SOMD, Dr. Doom Easter egg. The device used by Krasinski to show up in Doctor Strange is Dr. Doom's time travel platform in the comics.
Oh, if that's true, that's a neat Easter egg.
That is cool.
It does not necessarily mean anything. Marvel always slips in these fun little Easter
Right.
eggs, but if that's true, that's actually a really cool catch. You'll have to go back and get a screenshot of that.
yeah, I'm gonna have to
get a
check
screenshot
that
of that and
out.
tell me if that's true. This guy will know. This guy will know if
Yeah, I
that's
want
true
to
or
see.
not.
Yeah, because
All right, what's next?
From Jay Bling, what about Shang-Chi 2 announcement?
See that's a D23
Same.
platform. A Shang-Chi 2 announcement, that's a D23 platform thing for me. But either way, I just want it.
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
From Al Renshaw, bigger pop at Hall H. Cavill walks on stage for Black Adam. Feige announces and brings out Spielberg as director for Fantastic Four. Or Ryan Reynolds brings Jackman on stage for Deadpool 3. I think Deadpool 3.
Okay. Kevin Feige brings out the greatest filmmaker of all time.
Yeah, that's the
But
one.
keep in mind the crowd there too.
I know. First, just Deadpool at all. Ryan Reynolds at all. Ryan Reynolds comes out and brings Hugh Jackman out with him.
He's just learning about it.
And brings Hugh Jackman out with them. Okay, I do not believe that is happening, but as big as Hall Henry would be, and as big as Spielberg coming out on stage, announced to direct Fantastic Four, I have to believe that Ryan Reynolds coming out to announce Deadpool 3 and bringing Hugh Jackman along with him, I got to believe that's the biggest pop of the day. I mean, I want to say Hall Henry, but I think Ryan Reynolds with Hugh Jackman, that wins. I think that's the biggest pop of the day.
I think you're right, because as much as we love Spielberg, let's call them the younger generation are not as enamored of Spielberg as we are. But I would think that Spielberg would be important, like in terms of, because Spielberg as a kid probably read Fantastic Four growing up when it was first coming out.
Yeah. All right. What's next?
From
We read that one. One second.
From My Comic Planet, breaking news, Mortal Kombat is officially happening. If they can build and improve on the first one, could be great.
I think they actually kind of wasn't it months ago that they let slip that they're doing a second one?
Is it the same team?
I don't know. In the immortal words of Chris Carr, for why?
What? I like that Mortal Kombat. The main characters suck, but come on.
I mean,
Yeah,
for
the
me
main
too, if
character
you're
did
like,
suck.
if we can make it better, could you?
Yeah.
Dragons.
Ooh.
Could
yeah,
you not?
Dragons and Ninja.
I mean, listen, I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it. It had its moments and it has its redeeming qualities. It just, all right, sure, go ahead, give it a shot.
It was fine.
I mean, it's not like they're doing a Storm Shadow 2 or whatever that one was, or Snake Eyes 2.
Snake
I mean.
Eyes.
I really should have been called Storm Shadow. He was the better character in it. All right, what's next?
From Ben Rayner, you missed the obvious answer for Comic-Con. That is Valentina Allegra de Fontaine, a.k.a. Julia Louis-Dreyfus, comes in Hall H doing the Elaine dance, and that will win Comic-Con.
Okay, you know what? If they do the Thunderbolts thing, like I was saying, I think they're going to give the official lineup for Thunderbolts. If she comes out and does the Elaine dance, okay, that it might not get the biggest pop, but that might win the day. Without getting the biggest pop, that might win Comic-Con right there. So all right, especially if she does the dance with Walmart Captain America.
Ooh.
That would, if they both
Yeah.
do that, I mean that would be pretty cool. All right, what's next?
From Fifi, honestly, Avengers versus X-Men would be 100 times better than Secret Wars. Depends on story.
It all depends who writes.
Yeah.
Listen, I mean, no. The answer to that is no. I mean, it could be, but it all depends on the script. You could have an X-Men script and have it not be very good. You could have a Secret War script, which I'm not honestly wanting them to do, and write the best screenplay ever. And yeah,
I think, but you have to have the X-Men first. They have to be established before they can battle the Avengers,
Well,
which
yeah.
I think would be great because I like that storyline in the comics. You know, I like that. As a matter of fact, I was just reading that recently. I think the X-Men are so huge. Their universe is so huge that they need to be introduced before they can be the foils to.
but Secret Wars doesn't need to have X-Men in it.
No, I don't think. No, I'm talking X-Men versus Avengers.
Okay.
You know, I wouldn't want them to do the next Avengers movie battling the X-Men.
Right.
I mean, Secret Wars, I don't think you would have the X-Men in Secret Wars.
Right.
Not now.
All right, what's next?
From My Comic Planet, Clerks 3 broke advance ticket sales record for Fathom events. Wow. Good omen?
Oh, did it? Well, I
Good
mean,
for them.
I mean that's great, and it is. You know how big of a Kevin Smith fan I am. I think the dude's awesome. But I mean, if they announced like Bullet Train, which is coming out next week? Got my tickets. That Bullet Train was going to be a Fathom Events movie. That's not going to break any box office records, but that would easily break the Fathom Events. But you know what? It's still impressive. It's a win. I'll take it. Good for Kevin Smith. All right, what's next?
From Josh Becker, can I watch House of Dragons if I haven't seen Game of Thrones?
Since I haven't seen House of Dragons, I can't answer that question. Except that it is a prequel, so
Yeah.
You should
technically
be able to.
speaking,
Should be
it
able
should be
to.
fine.
It's
yeah.
the Better Call Saul
yeah.
of
Game of Thrones.
Game of
It would
Thrones
just be
franchise.
your introduction to that world.
Yeah.
It better make it so you can jump in.
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
From Stubble McShave, Netflix earnings call. We've had a rough time, but don't worry. We've just acquired a great movie, The Munsters. It's far superior to our own movies.
I mean, that was it. That's why the rebound happened to the stock price. That's why it went from 190 to 210 or whatever it's at. And it's all about the monsters. All right, what's next?
From Jay, what was the first ever blockbuster summer movie?
Jaws. Yeah, I think Jaws kind of made, but that or well,
I mean, in terms of how it started to change how Hollywood released movies.
yeah, because Jaws was also like one of the very first movies ever to have like a wide release. Well, we would call today a wide release, right? Like until that time, like movies all kind of just slowly rolled out across the country.
Regional releases and
Yeah, and stuff like that.
I mean,
So-
before Jaws, one of the big movies was Godfather was big, but so was Exorcist. but they weren't summer movies.
Yeah.
So
And event movies. It became an event.
yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to stick with Jaws. Again, if I have more time to think about it, maybe I'd say something else. I'm going to say Jaws for now. All right, what's next?
Also, we need to get Suthius here.
From Suthius, enjoyed Terminal List, Pratt and Constance Wu. Great.
I didn't even know Constance Wu was in it. Like Ann and I, we've been talking about that. We're going to get on Terminal List here pretty quick. All right, what's next?
From Suthius, you guys have time. Do you think Mr. C and Mr. B could say an hour-long editorial on Phase 4 so far and rank the project starting with WandaVision? Thank you.
No, I have no interest in doing that.
Yeah, I don't I don't think Phase 4 is done.
Yeah,
And
number one, it's not even done.
It's
yeah.
not done. And two, I would say that all of Phase 4 is building. I mean, when you're dealing with all new characters such as the Eternals, such as Shang-Chi, I mean, we have to, and all the shows, whether it was
Ms. Marvel.
or Moon Knight or, all these different things, I still don't know where it's all going. I don't, and Kevin Feige said we will know. And I need more of a clearer picture. And I think Wakanda Forever might provide that.
Yeah, that once we get to the end of Phase 4, maybe it's something we can talk about. But for now, not a lot of interest. All right, what's next?
From Chris Miner, saw A24's Marcel the Shell. Fantastic movie.
I got to see, by the way, did you see, speaking of A24, that HBO is going to be the home for all of A24's movies?
That's great.
Yeah, they just signed that deal. That's a pretty good deal. Yeah,
Yeah.
I still haven't even seen the trailer for
Yeah, me
Marcel.
neither.
So I got to get on this. I got to get on this.
Like the YouTube shorts, you haven't seen
Yeah.
those.
I know, I
Shorts
haven't
are
seen
cute.
any of it. I got to check it out. All right,
Excited to
what's
see it
next?
this weekend. Beagle Studios. Hey guys, yesterday was my 28th birthday.
Happy birthday, B. Gill.
And I saw Thor 4 and I enjoyed it, especially those goats, lol. And got some awesome Thor merch and a Thor cake.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Okay, that's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Somebody went all out for you. Again, that's great. It is the funny thing. It's, I think it was Chris pointed out the other day that when you go to the non-hardcore Marvel fans,
Yep.
which is the majority of the movie, they're having fun with it. They're enjoying the
yeah.
movie. They're liking it probably a little bit more than
My
a lot of
parents
us.
loved that movie.
Did they?
They both wrote to me this week and were like, "Are you talking about this on the show this week?" And I was like, "You're very far behind, but thank you so much." They loved it.
What happens if you have a birthday cake, a Thor birthday cake, but half your guests can't eat it because they're not worthy?
More for you.
Okay. Yeah.
Come on. I tried.
I'm here for that.
Boy,
joke.
that was the
That was-
weakest clap
No.
anyone's
I
ever been
loved
given.
it.
It was a flaccid clap.
I loved
on,
it
man.
so much. I didn't
All
want to
right.
spike the mic.
What's next?
From Casey Mack, I'm surprised you guys didn't mention this Look for a Shazam 2 trailer during the DC panel.
Like I said, I think all the stuff that they have, because there is no D23 for DC, I
Right.
think all the stuff they're bringing, they're going to show some footage or trailer. And we did mention that before, but that kind of like goes off the top, like all the stuff they're coming. But the thing to look for at the DC thing, I think, is
John,
Paul
let me
Henry.
ask you something. This just struck me. Since Michael Keaton is in both Batgirl and Flash.
Right, that
do you
movie
think-
doesn't exist
Yeah.
apparently.
Right. Do you think we'll see a glimpse of Michael Keaton maybe at Comic-Con?
Yes, they were, remember at CinemaCon they gave us a big heaping serving of Michael Keaton.
But I mean,
right?
Michael Keaton himself.
Oh, will Michael Keaton himself come out on stage? I don't know. It's not really his. It's not his It's not his venue.
But
right?
he could have his Loki moment and do it. You want to get nuts?
Yeah.
Let's get nuts. Oh my God, that would be huge.
I mean, it never occurred to me. I wasn't thinking along those lines, but that would certainly take the onus off
Okay.
anyone else.
I
Yep.
don't think they're going to do that. I don't think Michael Keaton would
I
go
don't
there.
either.
But I love it.
Be cool, though.
If they did and they did that, forget it. Just forget it. All right, what's next?
From Kylo Ken, John, have you seen the rumors that MS is interested in purchasing Netflix? Do you think that this would be a good fit?
Microsoft's not going to buy Netflix. Yeah, I've seen the rumors. I don't really think they're credible.
It'd be so cute to have Clip It though on your Netflix.
But,
Y'all remember
but,
Clip It?
but I'll tell you what. With the stock being like 27% of what it was, if anybody did want to buy Netflix, now's the time to do it. But I can't even fathom how much that would cost. I can't even fathom how much. And that's not Microsoft's industry
I think if anybody bought Netflix, it'd be Apple.
or Amazon. Like Apple and Amazon both have the money that they could buy Netflix 5 times over. But I mean, and listen, again, Microsoft has a ton of money, but it's not their business, you know? So I don't, but honestly, I don't think anybody's buying Netflix right now. Not at $220 a share, even though that's a lot better than it was $700 a share. All right, what's next?
From Orlando Orego, if Henry is announced as Superman again, Monday's show will be all about it. LOL.
Monday?
We're doing an emergency show.
We're talking 2022. We're
Yeah,
talking about
the
the
rest of the
balance
year.
of 2022.
It's funny. I'll have a certain hot toy sitting on my desk for at least a year.
Oh, dude. I mean, no. If they announce Henry again, you may not want to have your kids around the computer monitor.
Oh,
With-
yeesh.
Wow.
Boy,
Have them
boy.
here in general
happen?
on this show. Just disappointed.
Yeah. Monday? I mean, way more than Monday, my friend. All right. What's next?
From CPU 939, what movies this year will Rob buy as DVDs or Blu-rays?
Well, I mean, this year, Everything Everywhere All at Once is probably the last one.
By the way, did you hear they're re-releasing it with extra footage? They're pulling a Spider-Man No Way Home.
No.
Yeah.
Well,
I
Yep.
guess I have to buy it again. They're double dipping in the same. Are you kidding?
No, I'm serious. Yeah.
Oh man.
That announcement came out this morning.
Well, that's one I've bought this year.
Best movie of the year. Best movie of the year. All right. What's next?
from Stubble McShave, March Madness, films of 1982 and 1994. Amazing years.
Sure.
Like if they have to battle each
those
other?
are both. No, those are both. I mean,
I
look.
mean, 84, we've talked a lot about 84, but I mean, I can't sit here and bring up a list of all the movies that are out that year, unfortunately. All right, what's next?
From Blake Feely, my girlfriend and I had a convo about 80s teen movies that have nothing problematic in them today. I said, say anything. Rewatched it last night, and I was right.
Which one was Say Anything again?
When he's got the
John
boombox
Cusack.
over his head, yeah.
John Cusack one. Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean,
There's
look,
nothing problematic in it?
anything from any era that you try to transpose into another era, it's gonna have something. I mean,
yeah.
But I mean, I would have to really. That's actually a really good, deep conversation to have.
Yeah.
80s movies that would have the least problems being transposed into like the 2020s.
I mean, I can think of there's other 80s comedies or other 80s teen films. One of my very favorite 80s teen movies is pretty obscure, but it's called The Chocolate War. And it was based on Robert Cormier's novel it's set in a Catholic boys' school. And it's about, well, bullying, and also a struggle for power and identity. I don't think there's anything problematic in that other than that it's set in a Catholic boys' school, but they don't address anything hinky.
Yeah.
But that's a great film.
Real
I mean,
genius. You could probably.
yeah, Real Genius. I bet you could get away with Real Genius, which, by the way, coming out in 4K, one of my favorite comedies of the 80s. Not just teen comedies, but man, that movie's funny.
All right, what's next?
From Johnny Wiener, one of two. I'm a little worried about the Marvel bringing in the X-Men. They changed completely Miss Marvel powers and her gene from what her comic counterpart, which I'm fine with. Do we get the second part?
Did we
in?
get the second part in? Maybe, maybe not.
Oh, was that it?
I think you just passed it. Maybe.
No, that's not.
Anyway, we'll have to we'll
Sorry.
just get to it when
We'll
we get
find
to
that
it.
later.
Okay, what's up next?
Well, now I got.
Now you got-
Okay, here we go.
Where were we?
From Scotty Hale, The Bear renewed for season 2.
Yes, it did.
Has anyone seen episode 7 yet? Which is a 20-minute one-shot episode, crazy and amazing all at once. It's so good.
Everyone has been talking about this show.
It's really good.
It's
I got
really
watching it
well
because
done.
Ann was watching it.
Okay.
Oh,
Well,
He's the chef. Is
yes. It's
Yeah.
set in a Chicago sandwich
Yeah.
shop.
And John
It's so good.
Bernthal has a relatively small role in it, but
I got
But
to watch.
impactful.
Everyone's. This is so crazy. All these different kinds of people.
it's
are telling
not
me
the
about
best show of the year,
Yeah,
but
Rob,
it's
don't
really
watch it,
good.
Rob.
It's really good.
I'm gonna watch it.
I'm just
All right,
trying to
what's
get the other side.
From Dakota Valdez. Hey, John, I love you guys and want to make my own channel.
Cool.
How did you guys used to make the graphics that would show the topics on the side of the screen and light up per topic like you used to do?
Oh, we could give you a master class on that.
No,
Y'all should.
I
Nightmare.
mean, look, I'm not going to go in depth. Basically, it's layers. You have to be using a streaming software, not something like StreamYard, although that's great for basic stuff. But if you're using something like Wirecast or OBS, you're going to have to create layers. You're going to have to create multiple images in Photoshop with transparencies and then have all those individual layers ready to appear. It was complex, especially for the time. It's part of the reason why we don't do it anymore. But that's the basic gist of it. All right, what's
And
next?
it's really fun doing it like a couple hours before showtime for AMC. I'm just saying. And
By the way, just in case you can't pick it up, Jonathan is being sarcastic. This is not a lot of fun to be done at those times. All right, what's next?
From Savine86, sending in an almost $20 super chat.
Thank you, Savine.
Last night I had a rewatch of Peter Jackson's greatest masterpiece, Brain Dead, or Dead Alive as it's called in the US. Man, what an insanely fun movie that is. Would love to see Peter Jackson do a movie like this again.
Me too.
I'm not going to lie. Not my favorite Peter Jackson movie.
I haven't seen it.
It's kind of along with
It's
Bad
a little
Taste.
bit of an acquired
It's an
taste.
acquired
It's fun.
taste.
It's definitely fun. I don't think it's Peter Jackson at his best, but I mean, it's
Well,
It's
that's Lord of the
pretty
Rings.
goofy. I mean, it's great, but it's pretty goofy too.
yeah. I mean,
mean-
again, like I would put, damn, what's the one with the murder?
Heavenly Creatures.
Heavenly Creatures.
Well, that's next level.
No. Oh, sorry. I'm not even thinking of that one. I'm thinking about the one with where Stanley Tucci is the
Lovely
murderer.
Bones.
Lovely Bones.
Oh yeah,
Right?
that one was good.
Like Lovely Bones, Heavenly Creatures. I would honestly, actually, now that I think about it, I think it might be my least favorite Peter Jackson movie.
Well, I mean, his early, Bad Taste is to me hilarious. His first movie, and
Bad
then
Taste has a
we talked
special
about was
place
it
in
Meet
my
the
heart.
Feebles we talked about yesterday.
Yep.
And then Brain Dead. Those three movies kind of belong in their own little Peter Jackson Gonzo low budget.
But when is he going to get in the director's chair again?
Well, he did get back.
That,
Well, I know
that's
what you mean,
fine,
yeah.
but I mean, that's not really the director's chair. That's the editing room. I mean, when is he going to get back in the director's chair
Well,
again?
he skipped Halo.
He skipped Halo. He was supposed to do the next
I
Tintin
know.
movie,
I was so excited for that.
right?
I want
What
more
was he
Tintin.
working on when he got the Get Back opportunity? He was in London to do something else. What do you guys remember? What was
I
it?
cannot
I don't
remember.
remember.
All right, we need to keep moving
right.
here. What's next?
From My Comic Planet, Tom Hardy will be paid $20 million for Venom 3. What's your anticipation level for this movie, John?
I love the Venom movies. I don't think Venom 2 was as good as Venom 1, but I am an unabashed Venom apologist. I love those movies. I have so much fun at them. I have a great time with them. 20 million is a pretty steep paycheck. Granted, Venom 1 and Venom 2 have made like what, $1.2 billion or something, 1.3
Yeah,
billion.
a lot of money.
But I mean, 20 million, that seems
Wasn't
steep.
Wasn't it John Travolta who was like the first guy to get the 20 million paycheck, and everyone was like,
I think it was
"Wow."
Jim. I
Or
thought it was Jim Carrey.
It was one of those two.
I thought
like-
Jim Carrey was the first guy to get. I thought he got 20 million for Cable Guy.
Wow.
And that
Dang.
might have been the first guy to do it. I can't remember now. Now there's been some sanity restored. You don't see that often. Now you're Tom Cruise and you just get points and you make $100 million on a film. All right, what's next?
Vanimator. I've seen Top Gun Maverick 8 times and 2 more to come, with new people loving it each time. Any movies you've seen this many times in theaters?
Oh, several. I saw the first Thor movie, Kenneth Branagh's Thor movie. I think there was a 2-week span where there was only 2 days I didn't go to the theater to watch that Thor movie. I mean, I loved it. As odd as it sounds, Star Wars: The Phantom Menace, because at the time, not only as a lifelong Star Wars fan was it a new Star Wars movie, but even as I started to grow, I grew disappointed in the film. The fact of the matter was, at that time, I was working at a visual effects company, and there had never been a visual effects movie like that ever made ever. So it was this fun running joke every day. We'd be working, blah, 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 and say, who wants to do a staff meeting? That meant me, Trevor, and his sister, we would go over to the mall where they had a small little theater where it was like $4 to see a movie, and we would go watch The Phantom Menace again, just because it was the visual effects of it. 17 times.
Whoa.
17 or 9. I can't remember if it was 17 or 19 times I saw the movie in theater. And then me and Schnapp, speaking of Schnapp, when The Force Awakens came out, he and I would do the same thing. When we were done like movie talk in the morning, if we had another show coming later in the afternoon, if we had a couple hours ago, staff meeting, and we just walk across the street to the AMC Burbank 16, walk in and go watch The Phantom Menace again.
It's
or
fun-
The Force Awakens again.
It's funny, I've said it many times on the show that I saw Empire 26 times in
Yeah.
the theater. But in terms of modern movies, I did see Inception 8 times.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Theater. I
haven't seen that one time.
I had an I had a personal connection to that movie. It kind of spoke to me at the time of my life that I was in. But yeah, 8 times.
Yeah.
And I
Mine-
don't regret it.
Mine were Moulin Rouge and Love Actually. I saw Love Actually like probably 13 times in the theater.
wow.
And I love that movie.
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
Colin.
From CJ Rebirth, things I learned this week. Yesterday was the Avatar finale anniversary, and I share the same birthday as the moon landing.
Yes, I put on my Twitter yesterday, I said, this day, I think it was 14 years ago, or it was 2008, Avatar Aang defeated Fire Lord Ozai. Never forget. I mean, but yes, yesterday was the anniversary of the
Wow.
airing of the finale of Avatar: The Last Airbender.
I'm so glad you gave that show a chance.
Oh yeah, me too.
Ugh.
Yeah, me too.
Today, the 20th, is my ex-wife's birthday.
Well, happy birthday to your
Happy
exife.
birthday,
How's she
ex-wife.
celebrating?
Happy birthday,
Yeah.
Elena, with her new husband.
It's extra celebratory for her now. All right.
Willie, I love
Boom,
you, Rob. I hate how they took Valhalla from Lady Sif.
Well, she didn't.
Well, we're not going to go into details on that. I thought it played out perfectly good. I liked the way it played out. By the way, they haven't taken it away from her. Anyway, all right, what's next?
From Josh Kahn, my off-the-wall Comic-Con prediction. Juan Carlo Esposito as Xavier and Denzel as Magneto. Origin stories moving from Holocaust to Civil Rights Movement. 0% chance it happens, but my fan cast it.
It ain't zero.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's zero either.
It ain't zero. I'll tell you that right now. Giancarlo Esposito, who, by the way, a few years ago was my pick to be the new Magneto. But there's been some rumbling about him as Charles Xavier, which, by the way, that wouldn't be a bad casting.
Not at all.
Are you kidding?
Put him in anything.
But when I hear him speak as Stanley or Stan in The Boys, to hear him talk as Magneto would be so freaking good. And I don't know if the Civil Rights Movement, it would have to be something older than that, I think, in the American history. But I still like some of the, whether you're talking about Rwandan genocide or something like that, something along those lines. But I mean, if they announced a Giancarlo Esposito and a Denzel Washington, first of all the little pussy whining man babies, they're black. Once we get by that little pathetic bullshit, then you start to realize, holy shit, these are two of the greatest actors alive. That would be amazing. But I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it would have to. It's interesting because I guess Denzel would have to be Professor X. But I could see Denzel being Magneto,
Yeah,
too.
like Denzel as Magneto.
I-
King Kong ain't got nothing on me.
I would love to see Denzel go full-on Training Day as Magneto.
I'd rather, I'd rather see him as Magneto because
Same.
just because of his energy that he exudes, and Esposito would be more of a quieter, like
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Professor
more of
X.
a less cynical stand.
Right.
you know?
Rewatch Malcolm X and then be like, yeah.
Yeah. But that,
That
you know
guy.
what? That might be too on the nose.
Might be.
I mean,
Might be.
Malcolm X playing essentially Malcolm X could be a little weird.
Maybe.
Yeah, but listen, a lot of people going to this movie weren't alive when he played Malcolm X. So
That's
I mean,
true.
so
That's
there
true.
that could be
That's
a little
fair.
bit of leeway there.
Although I got to tell you, if they did that, I wouldn't mind seeing Spike Lee direct that movie. Because I love Spike Lee. I was watching Inside Man the other day. Spike Lee's made movies like that in the 25th Hour. He never gets enough credit for his, call them off-brand movies when he's doing studio pictures. I'd love to see him come back and knock
To do
out.
a
I don't know if
Marvel
he would do
joint?
a comic book movie.
And
but
by the
I'd
way,
love to see
you know me, I don't do X actor, X role, but I do want to just throw out a name there for Professor X that I've had kind of in my brain for a little while. Bryan Cranston
Oh,
as Charles Xavier.
yeah.
I could
could do
really
that.
see
What's
that.
my name?
And then you have
Charles.
Giancarlo Esposito as Magneto.
Ooh.
There you go. You're
The
welcome,
crossover we
Hollywood.
deserve.
But no, seriously, Bryan Cranston. I mean, I think he could be a pretty badass Charles Xavier. Anyway, we need to keep moving. What's next?
I'm blue meth,
From
baby.
Milo, do you think the Rings of Power will be canon with the original trilogy? It has nothing to do with Warner, so there's no guarantee it'll be canon, I guess.
I think they're going to keep everything as canonical as they can. Like
Yeah.
the showrunners did say that they wanted a clean slate available to them to really tell a story, not be shackled a lot. But that doesn't mean they won't keep it consistent. So I think at the end of the day, it will be canon. Like at least for their part, they're going to try to keep it as consistent. I don't think you're going to see them breaking anything that later became known as canon in the Lord of the Rings films, at least to that degree. What do you guys think?
I don't know. I mean, the whole thing about the Harfoots and all that, they've already kind of, and again, I haven't seen it, but there's things that they've shown us that have broken Tolkien's canon. And I don't know how it's all going to fit because we're talking about thousands of years before.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say.
All right. All right. What's next?
From Tim Platt. Like Chris, I've never seen a Halloween film, but that trailer worked for me. In fact, now I might want to visit the franchise before this movie comes out, my birthday weekend.
I love that you like. I mean, I wish it worked for me. Again, I'm a huge fan of the 2018 one they did. But I'd be lying if I said it did a lot for me. But it worked for you, and that's the key thing. Actually, you liked the trailer more than I did, I think.
Yeah, I
didn't
mean,
you?
I thought as a trailer, I thought the trailer was effective. But I would ask you, have you ever seen It's a Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown?
I have. I love that.
Well, then you've seen a Halloween movie.
I have a whole video about how it's a video on existentialism.
It is kind of in
Yeah.
a way.
Yes, it
anyway.
is.
About God leaving you. Go find it on the internet, kids.
All right, what's next?
From Bailey Fuller, my wish list for Comic-Con, D&D trailer, Power Rangers movie reboot, Guardians Christmas special trailer.
John, correct me if I'm wrong, but don't we know that Chris Pine is going to be at Comic-Con supporting the D&D movie?
They're doing a
Paramount
panel.
has a panel.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're doing it. They are bringing the movie there, and you know what? You're right. That's probably one of my more. I'm not saying most anticipated, but most interested.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
want to see this. They showed us some footage at CinemaCon, but it was very, very brief, and it looked good. What we saw looked good,
Yeah.
but I think you're right. I think a good D&D trailer.
I think that's going to drop because McFarlane, the toy maker, I think he's presenting something at Comic-Con about that movie, like D&D figures from that movie.
Okay, great. All right.
yeah,
What's next?
From Carl Jr., Happy Hump Day Campea Squad. One movie I think they'll show everyone at Comic-Con is Ant-Man 3.
You think they're going to show the movie?
Probably footage, maybe. Or a
I mean,
trailer.
footage. Yeah, I get. Yeah, I think there's
Be
a
a big
lot
mistake.
at Comic-Con that they will give some reveal. That they'll show a little bit of footage. Remember, they got like 45 projects coming, but 1 hour. Don't forget that. Like, this isn't D23 where they have all day. They have 1 hour. They're from 5 to 6 p.m.
But maybe that's why it's the end of the day.
So they can go
they
It's
on.
go
still
over.
scheduled 5
All
to
right,
6, right? So
No,
Paul
there's-
Rudd's just
there's
so
stuff after,
nice
too,
that he's gonna
because
show something.
Kevin Smith has a thing after Marvel.
Oh, okay.
which I think is tradition, isn't it? I think he does that a lot.
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
From Lucky BX, hi crew. Here's an idea for an ensemble crime-solving show for Marvel. Sidekicks, a show starring Korg, Trevor Slatley, Darcy Lewis, Luis from Ant-Man, Jimmy Woo, and Ned.
I still want. Can we bring that up again for a second,
Oh, yeah.
Jonathan? I still want a Darcy
Darcy and Woo show.
Agent Woo show. I mean, listen, we talked about this when WandaVision was on, but it honestly, it's not a joke. An X-Files style show with Darcy and Woo, like investigating things like that within the world of the MCU. Not a movie, but that I think would make a great Disney Plus show.
I would love it.
I think it would be so much fun. I love seeing her pop up in Thor, by the way. I mean, I just like her too. So I think that would be gold. I would love to see it. All right, what's next?
From Jay, worst fictional place to live.
Hell. or I don't know. We become
Fictional?
Yeah.
I was going to say.
Tatooine.
Joke is kind of
Yeah, Tatooine. Ray nailed it. Tatooine.
Yeah.
But what if
Dig-
you love sand?
You have to dig for water? Come on.
No, you gotta farm it out of the moisture in the air. It's like no, and everything bad happens there.
SETI Alpha 5 is worse than Tatooine.
Was
Oh,
that SETI
yeah.
Alpha 5 or SETI Alpha 6?
SETI Alpha 6 exploded 6
So
months
wouldn't
after
that be
they
a little
left
bit
there.
worse?
But it's not there anymore.
No, that's true. It's gone.
Ain't the 405 freeway too? The
Yeah.
worst place to live?
That's the worst place.
All right, what's next?
From Max Cohen, what are the chances MCU mutants already have Croatia or
Krakoa.
Krakoa? Thank you. To explain, I went real on it. To explain why we haven't seen them, is there a chance they start with the island in play?
I think, listen, I think Genosha is something they bring in long before. I mean, I
Yeah.
think if they're going to do anything like even that's remotely similar to that, it's going to be Genosha. And no, that's not a place in the world that, no, they're not going to say that that's already a place.
Plus,
don't
I
think.
mean that's not without its controversies. Krakoa,
Yes.
the entire Jonathan Hickman X-Men run. I think that's something. Although they have embraced modern runs, I don't know if they can embrace that as
No,
part of the
it
new
would be-
X-Men. I mean, they could. I would love it, but I don't think it would be
regardless,
good
even
for
the
the
concept
MCU.
of whatever the name of the place is, an already pre-existing place that everybody already is, I don't think they're going to go that direction. Like,
Although I could see Genosha being the island nation of Genosha.
Yeah.
being-
yeah, I
think
can
that's
see
on the
them
table.
bringing that in, but I don't think they're going to say the entire mutant population is already
Right,
there.
Yeah.
You know
right,
what I
right,
mean? All right, what's next?
From John Campea plus Max. Coming this fall, original 6-episode live-action series The Pride, starring Lucas Hedges in the role of Petros Renault. Trailer to debut at Comic-Con.
So seriously, obviously somebody who bought my book. Don't laugh. Last month, I actually had, and I looked them up. They were legit. A small animation studio asked me about animating the anniversary.
Oh.
Wow.
It was not something I was ready or able or willing to do, but I thought that was pretty cool. I really do want to do more with that world, though. I really do. The problem was it took me 5 years to write the first book. And
Wait, you said the anniversary.
oh, I'm sorry.
You were confusing
Pride.
me.
Sorry, the Pride.
Okay.
The Pride. My anniversary is my movie. The Pride is my book.
I was like,
I did. The problem, it took me 5 years to write The Pride, and for my standards, it's great. For the world of people who buy book standards, it's mid. But
You said it.
it's mid. But I mean, I think about that world so much, and what I want to do with it next. And I end the book with an open door to where I'd want it to go. And I've always wanted to go back to it. I think it would have to be once I semi-retire from the channel. Like once I'm doing 2 to 3 videos a week, and then if I'm doing that and then I'm off, I have the time to go do something like that. But I would love to go do more of that. I really would. I don't talk about my book very much on the channel, but I really do. I think about it a lot. I really do. All right, what's next?
From Donnie Rhodes, just sending in some support. Thanks, Donnie.
Thank you, Donnie.
Jay Master sending in a $20 super
Jay
chat.
Master.
Marvel Studios animation first panel will happen on Friday, July 22nd from 11:45 a.m. to 1:15 p.m. Saturday, July 23rd from 5 to 6. Marvel Studios
That's
live action.
Marvel's panel. Yep.
Marvel Live Action will host its flagship Hall H panel.
Yeah, and so it's going to be very, very interesting to see what they. Number one, I think it's very interesting that they're separating their animated stuff from the live action stuff. So that's interesting. But it's going to be very cool to see what they bring. I'm honestly not keeping an eye on it, but I have a feeling we're going to hear some big things coming out of that panel. Obviously, there's the What If Season 2, but the Spider-Man thing, the X-Men 97. I mean, it's going to be really neat to get our first glimpse of that. But, I mean, all the talk is going to be Hall H. Or Hall Henry, as it's going to be renamed.
Hall Henry.
App is going to be officially renamed Hall Henry after DC brings out Henry Cavill. But it's going to be really cool to see what they bring out of that. So we'll keep our eyes on it, man. All right. Thanks a lot for that, Jay Master. What's next?
From Orlando Orego, Phase 4 is all about religion, in my opinion. Thoughts?
It's not, but they've certainly had a lot of religious themes.
and gods.
And a lot of gods. And a lot of gods. But I wouldn't say it's been all... I not at all, actually.
Well, they haven't really. I mean, while there's gods there, they haven't really addressed the idea of religion and belief.
True.
Other than with, I think, the Eternals, because the Eternals were: do we believe in what they tell us, or are they false gods?
Right.
And that was obviously, spoiler alert: Icarus believed in them, and look where that led him.
And even in Miss Marvel, like even though her family's religion is a context, Ms. Marvel was never about their religion. Like
Right,
it serves
exactly.
as a background context,
Absolutely.
but it was never really about it. So, but definitely more of it in Phase 4 than there has been in other phases. All right, what's next?
From Logan Landis, I'm canceling my Netflix so I can sign up for John Campea Plus Max. Can't wait for the new season of Pickle My Foot. Glad to see Rob is back in the adult film industry. Hashtag take your Midol.
I mean, there's a lot to unpack in
Wow.
Logan's thing there.
Well
But yeah,
done.
don't lie. I remember I had somebody in the industry, and Rob, you know about this, approached me a while ago that talked about taking the I'll tell you exactly when it was. Remember back when YouTube was introducing that whole, is this content for kids? And there was this whole, like, all of YouTube was losing its mind because theoretically on paper it looked like YouTube could just shut your channel down, that if they deemed that your video was for kids, you could be fined $50,000 every time. Like, it was like a lot of YouTube creators were thinking this is the apocalypse.
Oh, yeah.
And it was around that time that I was starting to think about, what are my other options other than YouTube? You know, whether it's Vimeo or Facebook video or whatever, right? And one of the options that somebody really was trying to push me on was take the John Campea Show and make it its own VOD pay-per-view service. Make it, you know, John Campea Plus Max. And that was
horrible name.
yeah. I mean, obviously that wouldn't have been the name, but I remember we thought about it.
Oh yeah.
John Campea Plus Max. We thought about it, gave it some real consideration, as a matter of fact. I mean, even at the time, we thought, even if we lost 90% of our viewers, we would theoretically make a little bit more than we did at the time. But I mean, ultimately, this is where we are, and so we didn't do that. All right, what's next?
From Casey Mack. Actually watched the first episode of Blackbird recently, and what can I tell you? Apple, you hooked me with another show again.
So good.
What is with Apple just cranking out gold? Like, it's like everything they put out looks like it'll be and then you watch it and you're like, wow.
And the creators, I mean, having Dennis Lehane, who's an incredible writer, do this show based on a true story, it's really good.
And we actually got a Godzilla series coming.
That's right. Forgot about that
Ooh,
too. Yeah.
boy.
Yeah, Blackbird is only 6 episodes, so it's a limited series. It's really beautiful.
How long is each episode?
Like an hour.
Okay, good.
Full
not
on.
Like, not this 32
none of
minute
this,
nonsense.
none of this 38-minute stuff.
right.
No,
Good to
full
know.
on hour episodes. And by the way, it's also the last performance of Ray Liotta.
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay.
There's some people.
All right, what's next?
From Matthew Evan. Hello, John and crew. I love your show, though it's midnight here in Indonesia.
Oh my goodness.
Thanks for keeping me company. Come visit Indonesia. We'd love to welcome you.
Well, thank you so much. I mean, I love it when we hear from our viewers in different countries and say, come bring the show here. And listen, it's funny that you mentioned that it's midnight there, because I often think about moving the time of the show. Like, there are times, like, in North America, whether you're in LA or New York, we do our show live when everybody's at work or at school. There have been times that I've thought about the John Campea Show should be at 4 p.m. That way, a lot of people in LA and the West Coast are back from what they're doing, and everybody on the East Coast is free and available.
And Jonathan loves to get home at 7:30 at night.
Ray will still be late. We can make it 4 in the afternoon. He will still roll in 5 minutes before the show starts. But I mean, but whenever that thought comes to mind, I mean, the emails, even when in the community tab, I put, hey guys, I'm thinking about maybe move to 1 o'clock. What do you think? That's 3 a.m. where I live. So I'm like, oh my gosh, what
It's
would we
hard,
do to
man.
everybody else? So
It's hard.
it's
All I want
difficult.
is us to do the show at like 8 a.m.
I mean,
Honest
but-
and truly. I would love that.
The show used to be 9 a.m.
Yep.
I think, were you
Back
still
in
with,
Burbank days.
were you with us when we were doing it
Yeah,
9? Yeah, we used
it
to do
was
9
great.
a.m. and
Yeah,
I
I
was
like
like,
that.
I loved it.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
that's great. You guys didn't have to write the show notes.
No. I was having a great time.
or prepare all the graphics.
Or
yeah,
switch
it was
the cameras.
Yeah.
Or it was hard.
I was just picking up Zivia and coming here.
yeah,
was
just showing
fine.
up. Hey, let's roll.
Here's your
it was-
Coke. Bye.
It was hard. It was really hard doing the show at 9. It really was. All right. Anyway, what's
I
next?
found that part too.
Oh, there it is.
Hey! From Johnny Wiener. But I wonder if they do the same with X-Men mutants. They somehow triggered their X gene and they form a team, no school, no brotherhood, just a form of inhuman versions. The first part of this, of course, was they were worried because they changed so much of
Yeah.
Kamala's powers.
Here's the thing about Kamala Khan is that nobody cared. Nobody cared. 95, 96, 97% of the viewing audience did not care that they did not make her origins inhuman or that they changed her powers up a bit, because most people,
mist.
even amongst a lot of the hardcore comic book fans, they never read Ms. Marvel, right? So that's fine. But we have talked for years about bringing X-Men into an already established comic book movie world. There's no clean, perfect way to do it. Every way you could do it will come along with problems. Whether it's introduce them now, okay, that's fine. Everything that makes X-Men X-Men is about the history and the all that kind of stuff, about the society has hated them and all that kind of stuff, and blah, blah, blah. Okay, we'll say they've been around the whole time. Well, that creates another thing of
They're
logic.
not in the
like,
Sokovia Accords.
they're not even referencing the Sokovia Accords. And then you can say, well, no, they've been hidden. It's impossible. It's impossible to keep a mutant population hidden. It's impossible. Well, Professor X can wipe their minds. Great. 5 seconds after he wipes their minds, a teenager in New Jersey is first manifesting their mutant power. Everybody saw it. Well, now basically every 5 seconds, Professor Xavier has to be sitting in Cerebro 24/7, wiping everybody's minds constantly. I mean, and this is where I feel for Kevin Feige, because there is no one perfect solution. And we as fans are just going to have to accept that whatever method they bring the X-Men about, it's going to come with compromises, because it has to. It has to. So all we can hope for is that they come up with a good way, not a perfect way, because there's no perfect way to do it, but a good way. And I trust that they will. And does that mean they might have to change a couple of things? Maybe. But that's the situation they're in. They're going to have to.
I mean, you're right. And I spend way too long pondering this very subject, and I can't come up with a great solution.
Neither can I.
You know, I just don't know what they would do, because every time you come up with, they could do this, you run into different roadblocks.
Yeah, and you got to remember that we say, well, why didn't he plan for this? Because they didn't have X-Men when he was putting together his Marvel Cinematic
didn't.
Universe.
And
They
nor
did
did it
Black
look like
Box.
they would ever get
Yeah,
X-Men.
nor did it look like they would ever get it. And by the way, they still almost didn't get it because Comcast nearly took it from them. So I mean, so you got to cut them some slack for that. All right, what's next?
From P. Dot, excited for Daredevil through some Echo for sure.
I mean, again, well, obviously no footage for Daredevil, but they might bring Charlie Cox out on stage. Again, remember, they only have 1 hour. So maybe bring Charlie Cox on stage for 30 seconds. Echo footage, I could totally see them showing some Echo footage, maybe 30 seconds of it, again, because they got a lot of stuff to do. But I think you're right. I think Echo will probably get a little bit of love there. All right, what's next?
Bard Gibson. Hey guys, it's my 34th birthday
Happy
today.
birthday!
Wanted to say how much I love the show. What would be a neglected Batman villain you'd like in the sequel?
I listen, although the name is dumb, KG Beast is, I
yeah.
think, a great, not just a great character, I think great for this Batman world. For the Robert Pattinson Batman world, I think KG Beast is a guy that would fit in. You obviously have to tinker with a few things, but I think KG Beast. What about you, Rob?
King Tut.
Oh, wow.
I don't think King Tut would work today, but Victor Bueno, the spirit, he can come back.
Now, King Tut, that originated in the old series, right?
Yes,
He
it
was
did.
Never
Yeah. Yep.
From,
No, he was never.
Nope. King Tut from the old Adam West series, man. Oh, my gosh. All right,
like
what's next?
Egghead or whatever.
Yeah,
Excellent.
yeah.
Excellent.
They wouldn't really work today.
From Garrett, the Monsters trailer looks like an ABC primetime Halloween special. Also, Ryan Reynolds can also pull off the Dirty Dancing scene with the water and chair.
He absolutely could.
That's not Dirty Dancing.
That's Flashdance.
That's Flashdance.
Do,
What a
do,
feeling.
do.
But it didn't look like an ABC special. It looked like
The haunted house opening.
It looked
at Castle
like-
Park.
a Facebook video special made by the kids who live next door. ABC special would be way too beyond it.
Yeah, you need Harvey Korman and B. Arthur for that.
No, see, I cannot put into words how bad that. I mean, it's one of the most horrible things I've ever seen. I just don't know.
What is
And,
this?
and maybe the movie will be awesome. Fingers crossed it'll be awesome when we check it out on Netflix. Because even Universal didn't want it on Peacock. All right, what's next?
From James Argenta, in a 3.5 week period, we get She-Hulk, Andor, House of Dragon, and Rings of Power.
It's gonna be a good time, man.
We'll be busy here.
It's gonna be a damn good time. We got some great content coming, and don't forget, like, I am so excited for She-Hulk. I am more and
Me
more
too.
getting more and more excited for She-Hulk, for Andor, obviously the Thrones, Rings. I mean, we got so much good stuff coming. It's embarrassing. It's
true.
All right, what's next?
From NHF Stoltz, Kevin Feige likes to keep it simple. So why not have Wolverine be introduced as X-23 version with the same girl from Logan?
Take the most popular comic book character maybe ever and throw it away? No. Why? No. Wolverine is like that's your crown jewel of the X-Men universe is Wolverine. Everybody knows it. It may not be your favorite character, but you got to acknowledge Wolverine. It's like saying, let's do DC, but not have Batman. It's
Which they keep doing, though.
Yeah.
I would say
CW
they
loves
keep
that.
doing. But I mean, there is zero chance. I mean, it would be honestly, it would be industry suicide. Like, why would you take what is the most popular character from that new pocket of the universe that you have and just replace it? No, I don't see any way they do that. I don't know, Rob, what do you think?
Well, the problem is, I mean, that character is, again, from a different universe. And if you incorporate that person into, like, I think they really need to start from scratch. They could do it in Deadpool with Ryan Reynolds, because that's Deadpool's already a creature of the multiverse, whatever. But I think they really need to establish a brand new X-verse within the MCU. Everyone's new. I think that's the only way to do it.
And by the way, don't forget that Logan game is coming.
Oh yeah.
Right. So it just highlights that everybody get excited.
Yep.
Like the internet popped when there's just a little animatic showing a dude sitting at a bar and claws pop out of a hand. It's like, the world explodes, right? You think Kevin Feige ain't going to use that character?
Yeah, because the way they do those Spider-Man games, because this is a Sony exclusive.
Yeah.
The way they do those Spider-Man games, they do Wolverine. Ooh, a lot more blood. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. It's going to be good. All right. What's next?
From Tim Platt, over under 30% the DCU transforms into mutant control eventually after the events of Ms. Marvel.
I think he meant the MCU.
Did he mean the MCU?
Yeah.
Did I read it wrong?
Okay, let's
No,
read it again.
says DCU.
It
Oh,
did say-
okay.
so,
Yeah.
over under 30% the MCU transforms into mutant control eventually after the events of Ms. Marvel. I don't know what you mean.
Or
by
damage control
That
unit.
Damage control.
becomes
There we
mutant
go.
control.
Oh.
You know, this is our fault, guys. You know
The
that,
damage
right?
control.
The excitement people have to try to get their super
True.
chat in.
I'll be honest with you. I'm not quite sure what it is he's asking.
If damage control from Ms. Marvel will then become, instead of being
Like
called
a
damage
mutant
control, be
control.
called mutant control.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, I don't think they'll do that, but that's possible. Let's keep our eyes on that, Tim. That's possible.
I don't think they know she's a mutant though. So damage control. They all meta-human. They deal with all
yeah,
metahumans.
any metahuman,
Yeah.
any enhanced individual right now. So that will probably.
But there is the Bureau of Mutant Affairs. I mean, there's all different kinds of things that we could see.
Yeah.
All right.
You know.
All right. What's next?
From Johnny Mack, that Forbes article brought up some good points reporting the Rolling Stone Snyder Cut article.
Except here's the thing. The Forbes article actually wasn't reporting anything. I went back and read the Forbes article, and the Forbes article, because I had a bunch of people write me, the Forbes article refutes this. I'm like, went back. No, it didn't. It's just offering some of a different perspective, but it didn't actually report any new facts. It didn't report any of this. It was just kind of an opinion piece.
I mean,
that they wrote.
Look, I think it was very suspect that Zack Snyder's Justice League was dropped on digital yesterday, and that's when Rolling Stone released this article.
That doesn't make anything suspect. That just means they purposely picked the timing of it,
Well,
but
yeah.
it doesn't cause any of the content
okay,
to
not
come into
suspect,
question.
but I mean, that piece there's a lot of research. It was definitely skewed because immediately I went back and reread it and stuff, and she does come right out and call the fan base toxic from the very beginning in that first paragraph. And it was like, she was taking the entire fan base and using language and skewing
Well, look, I'm not,
skewering it.
but everything she said was factual. Like the fan base is toxic.
Well,
there were people.
That's actually, though, that's an opinion.
Okay, well,
but when you're reporting using that language, that's not objective reporting, because you can't prove that that's true. You can say that factions of, but she's
But by that
all,
logic, you can't say they put out a great movie. Well, no, wait, that's not factual.
Well,
anyway, we're not going to get into that.
Right,
here,
but I
because
mean,
we're out of time. We're out of time.
Yeah,
we're already
let's
past
move on.
12:30 today, so we got to keep moving. All right, what's next?
From Josh Molinari, breaking news, Top Gun passes Last Jedi to be in top 10.
no.
Domestic, I believe domestic. You remember not The Force Awakens, but passes The Last Jedi.
That's true, but Force Awakens is like number 4.
Well, domestically, Force Awakens is number 1. Like Force Awakens will like.
Yep.
I feel pretty safe in saying nothing will ever catch The Force Awakens domestic, because what I think it was 900 million or something stupid like
But
that.
I was thinking global, billion.
Maybe it was global.
This article says Top Gun 2 tops Star Wars Last Jedi and Avengers.
But it must mean
Globally?
Does it show the
globally or
amount?
domestically, because that's well,
I'll look into
either
this
of
while
those
you
is
go.
interesting. Hold a second. Top Gun Maverick. Really don't have time for this because we're already overtime. Box office.
But this is
now
a
I got
feat, though.
I'm just too interested in knowing the
Yeah, I
answer
want to
to
know
this.
the answer to this. I would
Because-
think it's international.
Because it's topped 1.2 billion. So
Yeah.
Top Gun Maverick has passed 1.2 billion. So let me see. Where's all time? There it is. All time. Let me bring this up. All time top lifetime grosses. That's only domestic. Where's worldwide? Shit, I don't have time
Yeah.
to do this. Sorry about that, but that's really interesting. Again, all the stories about the tremendous success of Top
Amazing.
Gun. All right, what's next?
From Zach Taylor, think they'll say anything about Batman 2 or Penguin footage?
No, they're not ready for that. I don't. They're still early. So I don't think we're gonna get
They
any of that.
started shooting Penguin?
I think they did. But I don't think they're gonna go there yet.
I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, so am I. What Colin Farrell did in that.
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
From Tevin Como, do you guys think they'll show or mention Storm in Black Panther 2?
Why would they? There's no T'Challa.
Who's she marrying? Yeah.
There is literally no connection between the character of Storm and Wakanda without T'Challa. So, it's possible. We got Ironheart, but I I really don't see why. Like, if you were to sit down and go boardroom, Rob, and say, hey, I got an idea, let's bring Storm into Black Panther 2, and then the person would say, okay, why?
Well, I could say coming from Africa, maybe she's from there.
But that's
I mean, I know, but you know how they changed the MCU.
because you're in a country that's within 1,000 miles of Wakanda?
Or the fact that Wakanda, if there's one place on Earth where mutants could have flourished and no one knew about it, be Wakanda.
See, that's the answer.
That is.
That's the answer
that.
right there. That maybe Wakanda became a little bit of a safe haven for people like that. That's it. Like, none of this, well, she lived kind of close.
Yeah, no, but that's what I
But
mean.
that's
If
a good
there's-
idea.
Yeah, and then you're suddenly like, oh. You
Okay.
know, and so that would be, as far as the MCU is established as it exists now, if Atlantis is a place that we haven't heard about, so that's one land. Wakanda would be the other that they just made themselves public. Maybe mutants have been there.
That's a possibility.
No, by the way, I don't know.
I like that.
I made this up right here on the spot.
I like
So-
it. I mean, let's put it this way. It's foundationally the most sound, especially if you're going to try to say bring Storm into it. Because I honestly can't think of a good reason to have
yeah,
Storm there,
that
but
is good.
that would be a decent
And
explanation.
there would be a reason, like someone like Shuri, being as smart as she is, she could, if you were to say, well, yeah, it's not just the flowers that we have to become Black Panther. There's also the human mutation, and someone could be like, wait, what? Well, we've been charting mutation in humankind for a long time, and it's just another part of their research that they've known about it for a long time, and that way they could bring it into
Yeah,
the.
it's possible. All right, we need to keep going here. What's next?
From CJ Rebirth, hoping we get a Little Mermaid teaser at D23.
Again, I don't think Disney. Oh, D23.
D23.
Oh, no doubt.
We absolutely will.
And Snow White.
No doubt. Yep. All that stuff. Absolutely they will. All right, what's next?
From Al Renshaw, are any of you guys excited for Yu Yu Hakusho series coming to Netflix? I love the anime when it was airing.
Nope. I don't even know what it is. So
It's basically a ne'er-do-well kid who had a bad attitude, saves a kid from getting hit by a car, dies, but that kid would have survived anyway, so his sacrifice is meaningless. So then he gets to go back to Earth, but is like fighting spirits and demonic things.
Cool.
It's tight.
I'd watch that.
interesting sounding.
Yeah.
Interesting sounding. All right, I've never heard of it.
It's a
All
fun
right,
one.
what's next?
Vitmore Steinfeld sends in some support.
Thank you, Vitmore.
Kirk Jones. Hey, team, what do you think about Kiki Palmer as Storm? I'd have to hear her do a dialect if
I'll
they're
be
doing
honest with you, I
that.
don't know who we're talking about.
She's
Kiki
in
Palmer's
Nope.
in Nope.
Oh, okay. Oh, her? Well, again, X actor, X role.
I like the last actress that played Storm. I really liked the.
In the
She didn't say much.
In
but-
Apocalypse?
In Apocalypse,
She
and
didn't
in-
say much, but I liked the look.
I did too.
Yeah, it was a fine iteration. Again, it all depends on what is the iteration of Storm supposed to be, because until we know what kind of Storm they want to do, we have no idea who would be a good fit for it. So
Right.
all I ask for is a good actor, and I haven't seen Nope yet. So once I see Nope, maybe I'll think she's a good performer, maybe I won't. So I don't know, we'll see. All right, what's next?
From Wildebeest, I hope Cavill shows up as Soups in the WB panel. Can't wait to see the Russo brothers put Secret Wars straight to Disney Plus Netflix, since apparently only the elite can afford to go to a movie theater.
I mean, again, listen, let me be clear. I am not hoping for Secret Wars, because I actually don't think that makes for an interesting movie thing. But I do think there's a strong chance it's what they're going to do anyway. But again, Russo brothers, and let's be clear, we have no idea that the Russo brothers are coming back to the MCU. But if they did, any of the aforementioned, Fantastic Four, X-Men, Avengers 5, whatever, would be pretty significant. All right, what's next?
From J Master, according to the Hollywood Reporter, Star Wars Skeleton Crew, starring Jude Law, will have a season 1 premiere of 136 million, which began production on late June, more than The Mandalorian season 1.
So a season 1 budget
There we go.
of
I was
136
like, how
million.
do you premiere money?
Is that the first episode's going to be 136 million?
Couldn't possibly. No, that must be the series is 136 million. They couldn't possibly be. That would be bigger than Lord of the Rings.
Well, not if the whole series was less than, I mean, if the whole series costs say 250 million and they amortize. What people don't understand is when you're doing a science fiction show like this, a lot of the budget is up front, because if it takes place on a ship, they have to build all those sets, and then they amortize the costs across all episodes. So they might have an initial spend of 136 million, But that's because they parcel that money out over the other episodes of the show because they don't have those sets. It's not like they have to go build them.
Yeah, but still, I think if this ends up being a 6-episode season, you're talking about $20 million an episode,
Sure.
which would be in line with what this type of stuff is doing, and it would be a bigger budget than what Mandalorian had. So I got to imagine it's $136 million for the series.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd be curious.
All right, what's next?
From Johnny Mac, retorting, not reporting. Stupid autocorrect. Okay. There must have been a.
We probably knew what you were talking about, but we knew what you were talking about. Don't worry about it.
Look up Ric Flair woo off on YouTube. You're welcome.
Okay, so a friend of ours, Nigel McGuinness, is in that video. So you guys know, Corey Takei has been on many of my videos. She's like one of Anne's best friends. She's been dating Nigel for a while. It's funny because I had never seen that video until like Corey and Nigel were over, and then they brought up that video.
What a great
the
segment.
woo off is hilarious. It's a hilarious video. But yeah, that's Nigel in the ring with Ric Flair as that's going on. All right, what's next?
From Richard K. Do you think they'll announce the rest of Phase 4 and what movies and shows will be in Phase 5 at Comic-Con?
All the movies of Phase 4 are announced. I don't think there's anything. I don't think Phase 4 has anything unannounced at this point. I don't know. What do you think there could be anything?
I don't think. No, I think Phase 4 is pretty much done in terms of, and that's why I think they're going to save. I mean, they might announce future projects like the Russo brothers would be a big thing for Phase 5 or whatever. That I think they're going to do, whatever that's going to be. But the rest of Phase 5, that's what they would say for D23, what they're going to make next.
All right, what's next?
From Johnny Wiener. By the way, I'm getting sick and tired of that X-Men theme. How dare you?
Never. All right, what's next?
Faisal, what are your thoughts on Halloween Ends trailer? We talked about that.
Yeah, we talked about that. I'm not very big on it. All right, what's next?
It ended.
From Yander Period. Dusty is Ted Wheeler, Will and Nancy's dad?
I have no idea what I mean, obviously this is a Stranger Things
Yeah.
thing, but I have no idea what we're talking about. All right, what's next?
From Jay Master. Hey crew, She-Hulk Attorney at Law and Andor premieres next month.
I know, very, very excited for both. Again, Disney Plus is going to have 2 premium shows airing on the same night because there's going to be a little bit of crossover there. It's an interesting strategy. I don't know why they don't put
Wait,
one on
there's
another night.
crossover between Andor and She-Hulk?
Sorry, there's a little bit of overlap.
Because that would be awesome.
That would be very interesting. That would be what's his name's wet dream comes true. Patton Oswalt's wet dream comes
my
true.
gosh, I'd be so happy.
But there's going to be a little bit of overlap. So there's going to be nights, just like when Obi-Wan and Ms. Marvel are playing, that I got to stay up and watch one at midnight and then watch the other one immediately after. So there's going to be some
Because
overlap.
they don't
there.
drop those early.
No, they do
No.
not. I wish they would. All right, what's next?
From The Robo Producer. Save the X-Men reveal in a Deadpool 3 post-credit scene.
No, you don't do an X-Men reveal in a post-credit scene.
Half the people have left.
No, that would be a terrible thing to do. Just terrible. All right, what's next?
Allison Hoffman, Dogs Rule.
They absolutely do, Allison. All right, what's next?
Rocket-sized, Kiki Palmer for Storm. More Kiki Palmer for Storm love.
All right, what's next?
All right. From Tab and Como, I'm nervous. I've heard good things from the critics, but I've also heard Nope didn't have a great story and was closer to to us. Thoughts?
I haven't heard that.
Yeah, I know.
I haven't heard that at all. And I've probably read and listened to probably about 20 good reviews of it.
Let's just not read anymore. We're seeing it tomorrow.
Yeah, I've seen it tomorrow. I'm probably done that. But
Let's just
I
let it
mean,
go.
that might be one person you've heard that from, and that might have been their perception, and maybe that'll be my perception too. But I haven't sensed from all the other people who've seen it that they feel that's the case. So I don't know. I'll have to
I'm
wait
going
and
to
see.
guarantee one thing. I'm going to not understand half of the things tomorrow, but I'll still love it. I still like to look at things that I enjoy more than things I don't get.
All right, what's next?
From Ryan Ramirez, love the show, guys.
Oh, thank you so much, Ryan. Appreciate that, man.
From Kirk Jones, hey team, something people forget that it's been 5 years between Endgame and present MCU. Mutants could have popped up during that time.
That's an evolution. A next stage of human evolution doesn't happen in 5 years, right? So you're still going to need a massive plot device to explain it one way or the other, whether it's hidden
Thanos
or
snap.
But again, that
Terrigen-ness.
doesn't fix the problem of, again, any solution that come up is going to come with problems.
It's true.
That being a problem, okay, so there's no history between Xavier and Eric. There's no, I mean, it still presents different sorts of
And where
problems.
did Wolverine get his adamantium?
Yeah, and so what happens? Does that just mean, like, because remember, mutation, the way X-Men have always explained it, that's from conception, right? Something in your genes that then as you grow and develop as a being, it starts to develop differently than what others of your species do, blah, blah. So if they go the snap route, which is an option, but if they go the snap route, they're saying that there are just adults that their whole bodies just change and now they have the full manifestation of those things rather than what the evolution of it would be. So, I mean, and again, doing the snap, which is a possibility, you are now throwing away.
I don't think they'd do that.
No.
But they could.
Yeah.
You're throwing away the idea that this is the evolution of Homo superior out of Homo sapien, which means it wasn't a mutation, it wasn't evolution, it was an event that made it. And so that would kind of be counter to what X-Men have always been, but they're gonna have to make a compromise somewhere because there's no perfect way to do it other than they've been hiding in Wakanda, which is Rob's theory, and I kind of like that one. All right, what's next?
From J Master. Hey, John, I noticed on Twitter that Charlie Cox and Daredevil are trending ahead of Marvel Hall H panel this weekend.
Yeah, I think that's because some people have been like really speculating, and I totally think it's completely reasonable, even though it's only 1 hour. It's completely reasonable they'll have Charlie Cox show up there and maybe even announce a Daredevil series. If not then maybe at D23, but I think that's totally reasonable. All right, what's next?
From Glenn, Madam Web secretly a Spider-Verse movie? What do you think about the delay and the star-studded cast?
What?
There's a Madam Web movie.
What are you talking about? Well, it's definitely a Spider-Verse movie. I mean, we know that.
Yeah.
I still think there's a chance it's not actually a Madam Web movie. And who did they just announce?
Adam
Scott.
Adam Scott, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I love Adam Scott, so that got me very excited.
And that'd
to
be
hear
funny because if they cast him, he would only remember that there's a Madam Web movie half the day.
Yeah.
exactly.
Spider-Ins. Got you,
it.
Rob.
I mean, so I'm still not convinced it's actually a Madam Web movie. I'm not. Again, no inside information. That's just me, wild guess. All right, what's next?
From Tracy Dale, feeling we're in for some big news out of Comic-Con. Very excited.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. Coming out of any Comic-Con, but yes, listen, I think we're getting a lot of stuff, and there's a lot to be excited about, I think. All right, what's next?
From Hero75, I don't know if they're at Comic-Con, but I hope for an announcement the next season of Rick and Morty. They are at Comic-Con.
I am one of the only people I know that I don't like Rick and Morty. I watched the full first season. I'm like, well, that was a thing. And humor is especially one of the most subjective things. And it's like, if that style of humor works for you, it's going to be great. And I was just I'm one of the minority of people that I watch it. And it's like, okay, I get the jokes, but I just don't find them funny. And so I'm in the minority of that, which is really, I mean, it's the most expression I think I've ever seen on Dennis Zen's face. When I mentioned, because he loves Rick and Morty, and when I mentioned to him, he says, "Did you finally watch it?" I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Dude, I didn't watch it, or I didn't like it." I mean, it was like that's the most expression.
Wow.
Wow. Saying
Shots
something.
fired.
He was not happy.
He head tilted you?
Yeah, he had a little bit of a head
my
tilt on
God.
that.
Same face though.
Yep.
Just tilt.
I love that Dennis is your coach beard.
He's my coach. I mean, I tell you what, he was. I don't think he was very happy at that point. All right, what's next?
From Harry, super chats from yesterday.
Yeah,
did a
we already
bunch of
covered
those.
them, as a matter of fact. Yes. All right, what's next?
Nadia, do you think Sony will make any announcements because Craven and Madam Web are filming right now? A possible Venom or Black Cat announcement?
I don't even. Does Sony have a panel? I don't recall
I don't
seeing.
remember Sony having a panel.
Yeah, so probably not. Probably not. I unless I missed it, but I don't recall seeing that Sony had a panel this year. All right, what's next?
From J Master. Casey Mack. Did you guys hear Madam Web got delayed for almost 3 months and Insidious 5 took its spot?
Yeah, again, in the world of movies, a movie moving like anything 5 months or less is really not all that big of a deal. Unless it was supposed to come out next week and then it got bumped through. That's different, but yeah.
And they're still casting it. So it's
Exactly, that's what I was
possible
gonna
that
say.
they've moved the release date to accommodate casts. I mean, it's not like it's in production and it's in trouble or something.
Yeah, but like an 11-week move, not really noteworthy at this point, I don't think.
No on Sony. Just looked up.
Yeah,
the
no
whole
on
thing,
Sony. Okay,
you
so
didn't
there you
trust
go.
me?
Yeah, we won't be getting
No,
any
I just
announcements
wanted
after
to.
that. All right, what's next?
From Jay Master. Hey, Rob, this week it was announced by the MLB that Seattle will host the MLB All-Star 2023 next year.
Oh, that's cool, but it's no World Series.
Yeah, I mean, nobody cares about where the
I mean,
What is the
nobody cares where the
All-Star?
All-Star game.
it's like the
Major
home
League
run derby.
Baseball
where they
All-Star
just sing
game.
that one song?
yeah, you're
No, the
all
All-Star
Okay,
game
sweet.
is
It's
like
just
the
a
best
Smash
of
Mouth
the
reunion.
Yeah, it
two
is.
Oh, right.
Everybody just gets in there and
Sweet.
All
it's
right,
cool. I
They
mean,
play
look,
Shrek.
any event that brings Seattle on the map, I'm happy about.
I love Seattle.
Maybe
Great
they'll
city.
clean up the homeless problem
Yeah,
downtown.
the All-Star game was at Dodger Stadium this week.
See, I didn't even know that the All-Star game was in town.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody cares about
I
All-Star
think it's
games.
cool,
Really.
but it doesn't affect their regular season, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like,
And it's not even a real sport. So I mean,
oh, come
Here we go again,
on,
bro.
Such a Canadian response.
dude.
all right, what's next?
From Bailey Fuller. Did y'all see the trailer for Funny Pages? A24 is fire.
Funny
I have
pages.
not.
that's
I'm not.
cool.
And if it's A24, I'll watch that.
Is that about the real funny pages? Let me look. That
I
up.
mean, A24. Listen, sometimes they put some really just, but men, they always swing for the fences.
okay, it's a
Right.
Owen Klein's directorial debut.
Okay.
Yeah.
I again, they always do something like even with Lamb, right? Like they always do something that's really Ghost, things like that. They always do something really, really interesting, even if it turns out to be something you don't really
They know
love.
what they're doing over there.
Yeah, they do some pretty cool stuff there. All right, what's next?
From Richard K. With his style, with the Equalizer or Training Day, would love to see a Antoine
Antoine Fuqua.
James Bond movie. I think he's perfect for it. Would love to know your and Rob's thoughts.
Listen, again, ex-director and ex-movie, but yeah,
Yes,
if they announced Antoine Fuqua was doing a James Bond movie, I'd be totally down.
I'd
for
be
that.
totally down for that. By the way, those Equalizer movies kick ass.
I love his Equalizer.
They're
movies.
really good. And they're doing the third one. Yay.
Oh yeah, that's right. I was
Yeah.
surprised by that because the second one didn't do great, box office wise. So I was surprised, but I'm very happy to hear.
No
about
one can
that.
look at his watch better than Denzel
Yeah.
Washington can.
It was really funny. Antoine Fuqua came down to my studio to be on, for me to interview him once, and I went down to the parking lot to meet him, and we came up in the elevator together, and then I was seeing him out, and it's me, him, and his assistant. And while we were in the elevator going down, his phone rings. His assistant had his phone. She goes, "Oh, I didn't catch the name." He goes, "Oh," he takes it, blah, blah. And that is when he heard that he got the final green light on one of his projects. And now today, I can't even remember which project it was. It was whatever he did, I think, after Magnificent Seven. But I was there in the elevator when he got that final kind of okay. Like it already looked like it was happening, but I think he got the final okay. And I was standing right there beside him.
Wow.
Big, nobody cares. But to me, that was a big deal.
But that's cool.
All right, what's next?
From Daniel Yosef Abdu, sending in a super chat to send some support.
And is that everything? Do we got anything
yeah,
from
yeah, I got just 3 right here. Let me
Okay, from
open
our
them
members?
up. Let me go real quick. Ian Barth says, so excited over that Pickle My Foot season 3 announcement. When Josh lost his foot at the end of last season, I've been dying for more since.
That's right. Everyone was wondering what happened after he loses his foot.
gosh.
The world's been on edge.
He asked, Rob, do you have any news for the next season?
Well, you're not going to believe who we're adding to the cast.
Oh,
Wow.
big tease. Big tease. All right, what's next?
Okay. Kyle Fielder writes, you're going to have 4 after shows for 6 weeks straight in late August and September. She-Hulk, Lord of the Rings, Andor, and House of Dragon.
Yep.
Crazy
Ooh.
time. Also,
That'll be
the
fun.
Sandman
It's-
trailer.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a busy time around here, but I am very much looking forward to it.
He also mentions the Sandman trailer this weekend. I don't know if that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll
I
drop something
can't
There
quick
is
there.
Sandman in Hall H as well.
Yes,
Yeah,
there
to
To
is.
be
Yeah.
honest,
There.
that's my most eagerly awaited of all the new TV shows.
Yes,
I'm
it
really
is.
excited.
Jacob Flynn says, so glad I found this channel during the WandaVision open spoilers.
Aw.
Tuned in every day since. Keep up the great work.
Oh,
you guys.
thank you so much, man.
So
That's
sweet. Thank
you know,
you.
it's I always love hearing from people. They say they've been watching for a long time, but I love hearing about what brought them in. Obviously, for a lot of people, it was the Man of Steel review. For a lot of people, I mean, it was funny that WandaVision. A lot of people. I mean, it's just always neat to hear what was the one thing that first brought you in our door. That's pretty cool to hear. Thank you for sharing that, man. I appreciate that. All right, what's next?
That's it.
That's it?
Yep.
All right, guys. And today was a long one, but that'll do it for today's installment of the John Campea Show. Thank you so much for being here and making this show part of your day. Big special thank you to all you guys who sent in those super chats. Number 1, because you gave us great fun things to talk about. But number 2, you supported this channel as you did it. And all of us involved here with the show, thank you guys so much for your support. So don't forget to join us again tomorrow for the next episode of the John Campea Show. We're looking forward to seeing you then. So for everybody in the room, Robert Meyer Burnett, we got Chris Carr, Ray Ora, producer Jonathan Voico, and myself, I'm John Campea. That'll do it for us, guys. And until next time, my friends, bye-bye.